What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Manic Red channel. Have I got a treat for you tonight? I've had a lot of people reach out to Manic Red. That's right, we talking third person now. Reach out to your boy, say, hey, Manic, I'm trying to figure out A, I'm trying to figure out B. What's up with C? How come D don't work? So I'm gonna we're gonna talk about it tonight. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of things. I've got an absolutely amazing guest on tonight. Somebody I do respect in this thing, and I think if you're familiar with his work, you will as well. I love all y'all for being here, my notification squad. I can see y'all. Go ahead, y'all rolling in there. I see you, baby. So yeah. Let me hold on. Let me get chat pulled up. Come on, Coach. What up, Nick? How you feeling, baby? I appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us. Tonight's gonna be a good night, man. I'm excited for this thing. This is gonna be a crazy podcast full of great information. It's gonna be live over here. If you've got a question in chat on the Facebook side, go ahead and type money symbol next, and then just drop the question in there, and we'll get it in. We'll answer the questions live, direct, baby, if you will. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Joanne, how you feeling? Let's see. I ought to go ahead and throw out a Twitter real quick. Make sure everybody knows we're live. So I'll do that here in a second. All right, I think we're good. All right, man. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into this edition of the MK Heads podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MK and streaming live with my man LSV. Let's get it.
Welcome to MK Heads Podcast.
My man, Lou Streets in the building. How you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling good, brother.
Feeling
Nice
good?
to be on. How you doing, man?
Man,
Feeling
I'm
great.
I'm doing fantastic, man. I got to be honest with you. I'm about 3/4 stoked for this daggum thing tonight, baby. I'm gonna give you a minute to let you introduce yourself. But let me try first, if you will.
I got
My man Lou Streets is a fantastic Mortal Kombat streamer. You know him from the Facebook platform. I see this dude everywhere. I can't open my little eyes in the morning without seeing 3, 4, 5 of notifications from the TikToks, from the Facebooks, from the Twitter sphere. I'm seeing my man all over the place. If you're looking for somebody to look at and say, that is what you got to do as a content creator, make it, this is the guy you need to be following. TikTok is straight fire. My man's Facebook streams are crazy, and my man's reads on Mortal Kombat 11 are godlike. Lou, did I do a decent job, or do you got some more you think I should have put in there?
you make me sound cooler than I am. I feel like Rocky was already getting announced in the Apollo Creed fight.
I got to hype you up, baby.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it for sure. I definitely just be trying to work hard, get a lot of volume out there, get stuff for people to see. All of it don't pop up, but for the ones that do, it help the channel. So I really do appreciate it, fam.
Yeah, man. We did a stream one time before. My man Louie hit me up. He said, "Hey, Manic." I said, "What's up?" He said, "Let's do a 1st to 20." I was like, "All right, cool." My man beat the shit out of me for like an hour and a half. I had to go play Mario and calm down afterwards.
I try not to be sweaty, dog. People keep telling me I'm sweaty. I don't think I'm that sweaty, bro, but people keep telling me that.
You crazy. You crazy. You ain't got to sit here and tell me them lies.
Fam, all these different events that y'all run with like these tournament style plays, the people that play in there are ridiculous. I just like to make content.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these guys are absolutely crazy. I'm looking dead at Game Boy. Yeah, some of these guys are nuts. My man Nick said another day in paradise, I got to spend some time with my son before he passed out. I had a pretty terrible day at work, but Luca made my day. 15 minutes of pure awesome. I'm telling you, kids will do that to you. Lou, you have kids?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I love video games a little too much. I'm gonna get there eventually though. I've been thinking about it lately, but I love video games a little too much right now.
Oh, I feel
Gotta
that.
get the concept
Yeah,
first.
them kids, man, you could be having the worst day ever. They just give you a little hug, man. It's all over with. But so the purpose of today's gathering of minds, I've been wanting to do a podcast where I get on with somebody I look at as a successful streamer and get on and just kind of us, back and forth kind of things we've learned, things we understand now that maybe we didn't understand when we started streaming. I got an entire novel of that. There's a lot to this streaming stuff, and it's not everybody's thing. Not everybody can play professional football. Streaming is one of those things, man. You've got to be, what people don't understand is streaming is something you've got to be mentally tough to do, because this thing will get you in your feelings. I've had streams where the numbers were duty. I got off and I was like, man, maybe I need to go play backgammon or something. This isn't working out for me. And then about the time I'm ready to quit, bow, one pops off and I'm feeling it again. But you gotta have. If I was gonna give any advice to somebody who's about to kick off the stream for the first time, I would tell them, look, look. It's crazy. I hear people say, don't look at the numbers. The numbers you got to look at the numbers because you got to know what works and what doesn't work. You got to scrub these videos and look at, hey, when my viewership dropped off, what was I doing? Oh, I was cussing up a storm. I was yelling and screaming at the wall. Okay, so viewership doesn't like that. Bet, let me stop doing that. You have to do that kind of stuff. Would you agree, Lou?
See, the thing that's funny about that is because specifically what you said about not looking at the numbers. That's kind of what my mind process was coming in. So on one hand, you do want to have some growth, but on the flip side, it's like the numbers could discourage you to the point you get burnt out. Yeah. And then even when it comes to cursing or like unpleasant experience for the viewer, some people they thrive because of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's no real right way. It's more like, to me, it's more about like consistency and ingratiating yourself within in your community. You know what I'm saying? Like talking back to people and stuff like that. I mean, eventually your stream gonna get big enough to the point where you can't respond to everybody. But at the same time, it's like people want to feel that they have some form of relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? As a community.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing that's funny too, is whenever you hear somebody say, hey, why'd you become a streamer? You'll hear them say things like, I wanted to build a community. Like, no, stop it. A community is something that's going to build itself, and it builds itself. My channel is a great example of this. The community is going to build itself around the core tenets of the streamer. So object number one, numero uno, is to figure out who you are as a streamer. What's your niche? Who are you? What are you going to be doing? What are you going to do and not allow in chat? My chat is one that, I don't know if you know this or not, but for the first year and a half, probably, of my stream, I was strictly PG. We allowed no cursing in chat, no cussing at all, nothing. Because when I started, I actually, I started streaming with my son. That was something that we did together. We played Minecraft Dungeons and a few other games together because it was cool to get to do it with my son. Well, my son started throwing horrible temper tantrums, so we had to kick him up out of there. And we started doing Mortal Kombat. And I decided early on that I wanted this Mortal Kombat page to be different from others. So now the question is, how do you do that? Because you could look on Twitch, you could look on YouTube, less so. You could look on Facebook. There's a bunch of Facebook streamers, a bunch of Twitch streamers all over the place. And what I always ask myself, I still do it today, why the hell would somebody want to watch you, Manic? Why are you so special? What makes you different from Lou, from Rossi, from Fearless, from Honeybee? What makes you different, Manic? That constantly I'm asking myself that. And constantly I'm trying to take the next step into something that differentiates me from I hate to say the opposition, but the competition is what I say. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of love for a lot of great streamers, yourself included. but you've got to find a way to figure out your path, because my path is not being sweaty in Mortal Kombat 11. That is not my path. These people are not watching me for them neutral ducks.
Did you find an answer to that question? Like when you said what makes me different, or what identify, did you ever find an actual answer to that question that you approach it that way now, or have you still not found that answer per se?
No, I believe that my niche is we have a good time. I'm always joking, interacting with chat. I try to. This was harder early on, but I've gotten used to it now. I make it a point to read every message that comes through in my chat, to acknowledge every like, every follow that I possibly can. And especially stars, I stop and I make sure that we celebrate each donation, small, big, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, it's never lost on me that some people come in here and watch me for 5 minutes. Some people come in here and watch me for an hour and a half. Some people, you know who you are, come and chat every single night I'm live, and they hang out. They're dedicating a portion of their life to me every day. Yeah. And what I do with that time is I try to engage them. I try to make them have a good time, laugh a little bit, get in and play some matches if they want to. But really, it's entertainment. I think this is going to sound crazy, I think I'm entertaining. I think I'm funny. My wife will tell you, I think I'm hilarious. So that's where I feel like I fit in. I fit in with great color commentary, a jovial attitude towards Mortal Kombat. A safe place to make Mortal Kombat is a big thing on my channel. When you come in and you play on my channel in my tournaments, you're not going to get toxic tea bags, and you're not going to get all that. We're here because we love Mortal Kombat, and that's where I believe I fit in. I fit in the area of Mortal Kombat where it's true blue fans. I've been playing this game since '92. I look at this wall behind me. You don't spend this much money on stuff unless this is just something you love. You know, so that's where I think I fit in. I keep it hype, I keep it light, I keep it fun, and I keep it true to Mortal Kombat.
I feel you on that. Like I understand your angle with that whole thing. Like for me, so for instance, you said yours is like entertainment, right? And this is the funniest thing about my approach to this, because early on when I first started streaming, I thought that you had to like win all the games and be good. Then I started seeing some successful streamers that like they played mediocre, and that was almost like their brand to an extent, you know? So the funny thing about now is I feel like my whole approach is based on presentation and things looking professional. I'm not PG-13 with the language. I do get some cursing, and I try to keep it to like a limited amount. And as far as the game go, I mean, I'm good at the game because I play it a lot, but like I'm not a competitive player per se. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more just about good presentation, being able to kick it with people, have a good time, have some background music, have your graphics looking right. Because in reality, I'm more of a creative that just happens to play gaming, like play games. It's not the other way around where I'm a gamer trying to be creative. I'm really a creative person that just likes to play video games in my spare time. That's what I feel like my approach is to the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, also I was watching one of your videos, and you were talking about in your real life, this is what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you work at a place that does content creation and so kind of walk me through, because I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. Kind of walk me through what you do, first of all, whatever you're willing to discuss, and how that's helped you.
Okay, so this is what it is. Like I work at a YouTube content creation company. Like it's like a small independent. It basically would be like if, let's say that LS Vision was a full-blown successful fighting game content creation production company, was independent, right? I basically work for a version of that, but they specialize in Roblox. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So pretty much editing videos, putting out content, paid content that like generates revenue. That's based on if the video does well, the company gets paid, therefore we get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my thing was, I used to work in healthcare about 3 years ago, like 2018. And then my friends told me like not too long before that, yo, you probably should start like a gaming channel. So what it was, I was like, I'll get around to it. It was cool. But then both my jobs, I quit one job to go full time at another one, and then that one defunded within like a month. So I went from having two full time jobs to no job in like
Mm,
a 1 month period.
that's
That
tough.
was when I started the channel, and then it was like from having fun with the channel, learning different things I didn't used to know in the past between like Photoshop, video editing, audio editing, all this stuff. It became like a real passion. So me working where I work at now is me sliding into this field. So it's like the whole gaming and content creation, it took me to a whole different career path where before it was just like being at work to make money, where now it's like, nah, it's something I actually care to do. That's what I be meaning when I say I'm a creative who just happens to game, because that started because I wanted to make something, you know what I'm saying? And then
Hmm.
Mortal Kombat just kind of took off with me at the same time.
Yeah.
And the coincidence of Lou Streets and Liu Kang, and it kind of grew. But if it was gonna be any other game, it would have been something period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And so you kind of brought up a couple of things. So I put out on the Twitter, I put out if anybody had anything specifically they wanted us to talk about. And I got a
Hmm.
couple entries. And you kind of touched on one. So Mortal the Bot, at Mortal445 on Twitter, said, "Where do you find the time to stream?" Um, so I guess I'll answer first. That is the
Hmm.
hardest thing for me because I do have a full time job. I work shift work, so my schedule is all over the place. So the past couple of years, I'm trying something new with my schedule now. Past couple of years, I've had days where I was in the morning, days where I was at night, and it kind of flip flopped based on my working schedule. Um, but what I found was I was building two different communities. I had a morning crew and I had a night crew.
Hmm.
Um, the find an easy way to say this, the monetary gain wasn't there in the morning, that was at night.
Hmm.
Um, and I've got three kids, a wife, and a very demanding job. I'm an air traffic controller, so finding the time to be live and also finding the time slots that work for the stream, work for my family, and that I can stay consistent with. That's another big one when it comes to content creation is consistency.
Hmm.
Now I'm live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 o'clock. That's it. 8 o'clock. I'm down to 3 nights a week, which is tough because during COVID, I was live 7 days a week for a long time, for multiple hours a day. I was doing 4 or 5 hours a day because I wasn't working. Um, so it's less hours, less growth, which is another thing we could talk about, especially with Facebook. But where do you find the time to stream is one of the hardest parts for me. And what people also don't see is the work that goes on when this start streaming button isn't going.
Yeah, yeah,
All of my
for sure.
overlays, all of my videos, my intros, all that stuff, I sit here and I make myself because it's something I enjoy doing. I like I like photo editing. I like video editing. I might not be amazing at it, but I enjoy doing it. Kind of like you said, I'm just creative. I like doing that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So all that goes into this as well, So when this channel first started off, I was spending 2, 3, 4 hours a day just working on overlays and stuff like that, outside of actually streaming. So it is a time drag, and I, what do you think? How do you find time for yourself to do all this?
I mean, it's definitely one of them things where you won't continue to do it if you don't enjoy it. That was kind of my mantra about don't focus on the numbers initially. For me, as far as finding time goes, I've thought about wanting to have a schedule, but then it's like, you got your mood. Your like, let's say that your presentation is, you're high energy and you bring like a lot of positivity to the chat. Well,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you don't necessarily feel that way that day, but it's time for you to stream. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't maintain a schedule, because sometimes I just don't feel like talking. You know what I'm saying? But most times I'll get on randomly. And then the reason I love Facebook so much is because of the fact that you don't have to engage your community by always being live. And since I'm a creative, streaming was actually like the back end for me. I put out a ton of videos on my YouTube, and then once it grew, people kept asking where I streamed. I streamed a few times, got a little more cool with some of the people in the Facebook groups, and I started doing it more often. But as far as like where do you find time to do it, it's one of those things where it kind of goes to you saying like, do I have kids or not? You know what I'm saying? Like part of the reason I don't have kids yet, I really like doing this that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So having a kid, having that level of relationship, it's just not as much of a priority to me as it might be for most people because I genuinely found a thing that I like to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where for the average person who they got to go to work, get a workout in, deal with real life stuff, they might juggle things a little bit differently. But for me, a relationship and those things, it'll come behind LSV stuff because this is what I really care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's something to say about staying true to who you are too. I've played Mortal Kombat for a very long time, so sliding into Mortal Kombat was an easy transition for me, which will kind of bring me to the next point that I want to discuss, and then we'll get to Thumper 42's question from Twitch or from Twitter as well. So the decision to play Mortal Kombat, how do you feel about making that decision? What made you make that decision, and how do you feel about it now?
So this is the funny thing, and I kind of struggle with this because like the whole Loose Streets and Liu Kang thing, that's been like a running joke, which is cool because that's my main character. I kind of leaned into it. I really do enjoy the game, but there is a thin line between viewership supporting the creator versus supporting the game because it's like, let's say that you don't build any value of your own and it's just all tied to Mortal Kombat 11. Then what happens when Mortal Kombat 11 dies? Does your channel die with it? So it's like I really do enjoy streaming it because I love playing it and I'm pretty good at it. But at the same time, like some days I just don't want to play it. And I notice that my views do drop when I don't play it. And that's just something that you got to live with. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really big on just accepting the reality of whatever my choices are. So it's like if I don't want to play Mortal Kombat and that costs me 20 viewers, hey, it costs me 20 viewers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my sanity versus like being burnt out because I feel obligated to do something I don't want to do every day.
Yeah, that's one thing I've talked to several streamers about. This Mortal Kombat thing, loving the feedback. I appreciate you being here, Lifestyles. Mortal Kombat I started as a variety streamer. My very first stream that I did was Call of Duty Warzone because I was super into that game. We started doing Minecraft Dungeons with my son. I played some Mario Kart. We were kind of jumping all over the place playing things. And then one day I seen Headlock Gaming. Shout out Headlock Gaming, longtime friend of mine now. That's how I consider him. I was watching one of his streams one day and he was playing Mortal Kombat Mugen. And like I said, I was already a MK head. So I'm sitting there watching him play this and I'm like, I got to get my hands on something like this. So I inboxed him. Hey, Headlock, help me out. How do I get my hands on some of this? And we played Mortal Kombat Mugen every single day after that for about 8 months. I played MK11 story mode early on in my streaming as well. So I did the whole storyline. It was right when Aftermath came out. I went through and I played the whole storyline again. And then we did Mugen for a long time. And chat kept saying, hey, how come you don't play MK11? I kept telling them, honestly, because I hate that game. I don't like it. It don't feel like Mortal Kombat to me. It feels like some esports hodgepodge of a game. I don't like it. So I didn't play it until January of last year. Finally, my chat was like, Manic, dude, we've been playing this Mugen for months and months and months. We got to do something different. Let's get on MK11. So I jumped on. So I've been playing MK11 now almost every day for like a year. A game that I put down the month after it came out. I played it the first month it came out, and I put it down because I hated it so much. Now I really do love the game.
You enjoy it now?
I do.
You do?
I enjoy it now, but I think I enjoy it because of the camaraderie and the fun that I have with my chat. Like the energy I get off of my chat keeps me playing MK11. My mods will tell you, sometimes I go off a live and I go in mod chat. I'm like, look, I think I'm done. I can't do MK no more. And it's usually nights when I go first to 20 with another streamer and he beats the hell out of me for an hour and a half. That happens. But the people that play MK11 today are almost all sweaty. They're here because this is what they like to do. Or, you get the people who just play just because whatever they play. But the majority of the people that are competing and signing up for these tournaments, they are the cream of the crop. These guys are amazing. So I just stand no chance, and I'm okay with that because I literally, all of my gaming time is spent with the live button on. But the funny thing about the Mortal Kombat viewers is I've talked to several streamers. They all say the same thing. If you hit live and Mortal Kombat is not your tagged game, they ain't clicking. You get some. I've got some viewers who will come in here and watch whether I'm playing Diablo, whatever I'm playing, they're going to come in. But the majority of this podcast is a great example. I'm not playing Mortal Kombat 11. Viewership's down. But you know what? I'm good with it because I'm sitting there having a fire conversation with somebody, and I'm about it. I like that. So it kind of brings me to where I wanted to end up with this. Somebody comes to you and say, Lou, I want to start streaming. Is Mortal Kombat the game I should stream? What's going to be your answer?
I guess it depends on like what the ultimate goal is. Like if they want to stream solely for viewership, then Mortal Kombat would be that game. But you know, if they're streaming that and they're not that good, it could get tilted. And sometimes it can get embarrassing because people teabagging you, doing fatalities and shit like that on you. Then again, on the flip side, is like I would tell people to play what they like the most. I just don't know if Mortal Kombat 11 is enjoyable without you getting fairly good at it, you know?
Yeah.
It's popular, so it's going to bring viewership because it's popular as hell. But at the same time, like, I enjoy it much more now because I know I'm good. But when I wasn't good, there's been times I've raged in a room playing alone. I threw my $150 Elite controller. Like, those moments have happened. I wouldn't do that now because I'm good. And plus, it's like the game been out for so long, you accept certain things that come with it. So you, like, just know kind of like the nonsense.
Yeah.
But, I mean... yeah, like it's kind of what you said. When you don't stream this game, the viewership does drop, and you got to be okay with that. Like something I do on purpose, as far as fighting game fans, I stream a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters for two reasons. It's visually very pleasing, and a lot of people that play Mortal Kombat, they don't know how to play Dragon Ball Fighters. So when they see me play it, it looks interesting. But I know that might slash my viewers by a third. It comes with it. I don't want to be tied to this game. That way, when this game dies, my channel doesn't die.
Yeah, and that's one thing about MK11 that has been rough is the fact that we haven't gotten a lot of information from NRS, and the game peaked. It's obviously not what it was, and the people that are still playing it play it because they love it. I'm trying to pull something up here so I can show everybody what I'm talking about, but I feel like I would almost disagree with the point that MK11 will give you good numbers. And the reason I say that is because, one, because I've been playing this game for a while, and I have seen a stagnation, which oftentimes I blame on me, something I'm doing. But I think interest has really dropped in the game. And I was told early on in my streaming career to pick a game in the top 10 of the streaming platform you're on. So if you go into Facebook, I'm having a hard time figuring it out now because I can't do two things at once apparently. Pick a game that's in the top 10 because it has the most viewership, and play that because the algorithm is going to push them that way. That's what people are trying to watch. Mortal Kombat, I don't think I've seen it in the top 10 ever since I've been streaming. So it doesn't have the numbers that like a Call of Duty Warzone or that flash in the pan game like Fallout that came out a few years back. Everybody's playing Fallout and then it kind of fizzled out. And that's another thing that's hard about streaming is trying to find that game. That's the one that's going to be the flash in the pan, becoming that guy for a minute and chasing that as a variety streamer, which is something I just can't do. I can't do it. I got to play something I love. Well, I'm not going to be doing it.
So how you said that, I think there's multiple factors into that though, right? Because like you said, for instance, Mortal Kombat 11 hasn't been in the top 10 in a while. Now, granted, it's one of the most popular fighting games around, but what a lot of people don't know, and probably us inside of it, because we just so used to speaking that language in the FGC, fighting games aren't a big genre in general. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Now, when it comes to shooting games, shooting games are the largest. I don't really know for whatever reason. They just seem to be. Maybe because they're a little more accessible than fighting games as far as being able to understand it. So it's like you can't necessarily like take, like, let's say, for instance, if I got like 100 viewers in a Mortal Kombat stream, like, am I just having a great day? I got 100 viewers, and somebody has 1,000 in Call of Duty. That's not necessarily on me, and that's not necessarily on the community. That's just that it's more people that are a fan of that style of game, so they're going to have more traffic in general, and that might get pushed more. But I just think it's one of those things that you kind of accept, or you at least understand why certain things are happening, so you don't feel like negative about them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know that the fighting game genre is small. I know that if I started playing Call of Duty Hardcore, it probably would grow me a ton of traffic. But the truth is, I would never have as much fun playing Call of Duty as I do playing Mortal Kombat or any fighting game for that matter.
100%. 100%. I really like playing Call of Duty Warzone, but I don't anymore. I've completely let that go. That game stopped being fun to me. But you've got to be able to play the game day in and day out. You've got to be able to have fun doing it, and you have to be really good. First-person shooters, I don't believe, are something that somebody like me, where I can get along in MK11, but I provide some entertainment, makes up for my lack of ability in the game. FPSs are not that way. You've got to be good, or people are just not watching you. I can't think of somebody off the top of my head that is good at first-person, that is not very good at first-person shooters, but runs a successful stream. I'm sure they exist. But when I think of first-person streamers, I think of Dr. Disrespect, Elite, Tim the Tapman, Nick Merckx. What are some others that come to mind?
Tactical Grandma is one that I've seen. Like, she's a legitimate grandma, but she's like really good.
Yeah.
I was watching her one day, and I don't even like those type of games.
Loose Streets is a great MK player, Manic. It's not okay. It's okay not to be on Lou's level. From what I saw, I'm absolutely nowhere near Lou's level. That's why I gotta sick other people on Lou. I can't be messing with Lou. I can't mess with Fearless either.
I just be trying to make content, dog. That, like, one thing I noticed when I would like hop into like a competitive event or something like that, and this actually kind of took me off the competitive scene for a little bit, because like my I hate saying this because it sounds so self-serving and cheesy, but like my quote unquote name would get out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then like somebody would put me in a competitive event, and because my name is associated with Kang, anytime I'm in a competitive event, I'm always facing a pro player. It's like, dog, I just make videos. Like, I don't win tournaments. I just make videos. Stop putting me against like the person that was top 16 at Evo. I'm just trying to chill.
Yeah.
That kind of took me away from a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, I once upon a time I wanted to be a competitive Mortal Kombat player. But what I realized is that I just don't have the time and energy to dedicate to that. I can't sit here and grind in the lab for hours, Combat League, all that. I can't do it. But what I can do is sit here and talk a gang of shit. That's what I can do. And that's what I excel at, is talking a gang of shit. So that's you know, that's kind of ended up being my niche. You know what I mean?
I mean, and the thing, that's sustainable anyway. That's sustainable. And so
yeah. And I was telling another streamer one time before, because they inboxed me saying, you know, hey, look, I've been playing MK11 for a while. The game's dead. My viewership is down. What should I do? Should I go play something else? Should I? And I told him, I said, look, here's the deal. YouTube is a great example of this. You've got people who create channels on YouTube a year out, 6 months out before a game ever even releases. And they have a channel dedicated to leaks for this game, fan art for this game. You know, this stuff, you know, we got a trailer today. Here's an interview about the trailer before a game comes out. And the reason they do this is they're establishing a fan base prior to the release of the game, because when the game drops, they already have a few thousand people that are already looking at them as a subject matter expert on this game prior to it releasing. So I told him, I said, look, MK12 is coming. It's imminent at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Myself, you, Fearless, Nerf Rossi, Honeybee, there's other names that I'm forgetting. I apologize if I'm missing you, because my brain just, you know, it's off to the next thing.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
My man, Guys Good Gaming, another great example. They've been watching us grind MK11. Some of us, JoJo Senpai is another one. Grind MK10. Watched us grind all these games. When Mortal Kombat 12 drops, release day, they're going to type Manic Red. Loose Streets.
Of course.
Because they're used to us. They trust us now, because I've been in their living room on their phone for 2 hours a night for 3.5 years waiting on this game. This game drops, I gotta find out what they're saying. So during this time where we're between games, this is our opportunity to build that fan base. Because even if Joe Schmo follows me today, and we're talking MK. Okay, yeah, that guy's an MK head. Cool. That's fire. I used to like MK2. Da-da-da-da. I don't really play MK11 anymore because I'm bored. There's a lot of those people in my chat who watch us play don't play anymore because they're done with it. When MK12 drops, they're going to, you know what? I remember that guy I followed a while back with Mortal Kombat. Let me go look him up. That's what, if you're a Mortal Kombat streamer you're watching right now, that's what I would tell you. If you love this game, keep doing it. Because one day, MK12 is going to drop. And we might be in the top 3 for a few weeks. Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean it's a legacy game. Like it's a legacy game. Like you said, you played the first one back in what? I was a lot back then. I know we both older gamers. I was what, like 10, maybe 9 or 10 when Mortal Kombat 1 came out. I never thought back then when I was messing around that I'd be still playing that shit at the age of 38 and like making content and stuff around it. So it's not going anywhere at all as far as the people who like really enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can speak to it directly. Like, I don't know, like, what your experience has been as far as, like, what you streamed or how you, like, grew your platform from the beginning. But, like, for me, Mortal Kombat 11 definitely grew my channel. And it's funny because Dragon Ball FighterZ is the game that made me want to make content in the first place, like, playing that game and trying to get better at it. And I remember this actually made me stop streaming for a while because I used to only want to make content. I didn't like streaming because I didn't like feeling tired of my console or my computer. But I remember I was streaming the Mortal Kombat 11 beta when it wasn't even out. And I was just finna hop off stream. I had about 6 or 7 viewers. And all of a sudden, it jumped up to like 29 out of nowhere. And I felt like I had to stay on because it was so many people in there. But then I remember after that, I didn't stream this game for like 6 months because I didn't want to feel forced to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
But then as I got better and as like I put out more content around it, naturally, I just started becoming more and more associated with it to the point where about a year ago, like I fell in love with the game all over again. Because I got to a point where I didn't like it. But part of that was because I wasn't good yet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Then once I started playing some of the sweaty people, once I started being able to get games with people like Ninja Killer and stuff like that, because of my content growing, those ass whoopings made me better. And it's like, now I like the game. Like I play it every single day. Like if 9 times out of 10, if I didn't play Mortal Kombat 11 that day, I probably didn't play my game at all. But if I play my game, that game's going to get turned on.
Yeah, MK11, MK10, and MK Mugen are the only things that have been played by me in, I can't remember the last time I booted up a different game. I cannot remember. You know what? No, I'm lying. Last time I booted up a game was because somebody at work was talking to Gang of Ish because they still play Call of Duty. And I said, you know what? I bet I could boot that thing. I'll go install it when I get home today. And I bet I could beat you one-on-one. So I booted up Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I beat him one-on-one. And then I uninstalled it immediately. So it's just not fun anymore. You know,
I like it. It's just too much memory, dog. 150 gigs of your memory for something that you only gonna play every once in a blue moon. That's just too much. It's too much.
And they didn't want to get rid of the hacking for anything. So that was, once I started getting decent at the game and I started getting lobbies with better people, all of a sudden we were just running into hackers. Not because of my skill, because of the people I was playing with. MK11 is fun, but I want to see what they do with the next Mortal Kombat. Yeah, me too. I'm stoked. We've spoken in exhaust on this channel about what we want to see in the next one. I'm stoked for it. I can't wait to see what they do. I wish we weren't shrouded in such secrecy. Again, we've talked about that exhaust as well. But what's up, Dave? How you feeling? So I had somebody reach out to me and ask me this very, very difficult question over and over again. And I always ignore the question, but I want to see maybe if you've got a good answer for this question. I've got one that I kind of fall to if I get pushed into a corner, but I want to see if it's the same answer you've got. What desktop do you recommend starting off with?
For streaming purposes.
Yeah.
I think it's either you have to get your quote unquote gaming desktop like an Alienware or something like that, or it's best to go custom. But then it's like you got to know what you need, because with a custom, you can always upgrade it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say that you get some of this like stock factory, like Alien or MSI or something like that. It's cool, but I think you need to get something where you can always upgrade, because technology always moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So like every 6 months, anything that you're using is obsolete, if not sooner. I stream on a Mac, and I love my Mac because I love Final Cut Pro and some of the things that Apple has. But I want to get a custom PC myself, and I probably will with like in the next year.
Yeah, that's
Especially if you want to do fancy things like what we do with the animation and all that type of stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's so what I always tell people is, because I get people asking me about computers, about cameras, about microphones, about all of this stuff. And what I tell them is the best equipment that you can get for your stream is the equipment you have right now.
Yeah.
what you've got. Start streaming. I'm going to be honest with you. The first 3, 4, 5 months of your streaming career, your streams are going to be booty. They're going to be booty. You're not used to it yet. There's a lot of stuff coming at you. You've got likes, you've got follows, you've got chat, you've got all these things going wild, and you're just trying to get to where you can play the game and read chat. And because if you miss a guy in chat, he thinks you're ignoring him, and you know what I mean? So it's going to take a while to get good at being a streamer. Then you want to upgrade your microphone, because statistically it's proven that audio is the number one thing that makes people stop watching content. If the audio is crap, you don't want to listen to it, they're out of there, off the rip. So if your audio quality is not right, you are sacrificing viewership. So get your audio quality right. Look, this microphone I've got right here. This was I've still got it back here.
You might have some loyalists that like stick around too, but yeah, if you got a nice camera and a bad mic versus having a bad camera and a good mic, it'll like flip flop for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I went out and bought this microphone right here. The day I decided I wanted to be a streamer, I went on Facebook Marketplace. I found somebody who had a webcam. It's my backup cam now. It sits in the back for my intro screen. And this blue microphone right here. This thing was a piece of trash. I gotta be honest with you. But
the camera or the mic?
The mic. It was terrible. It was disconnecting all the time, all this. So, but I needed proof of concept. So I bought this. I think I bought the two for like $40. Came home, set it up on the PC I already had, and I started streaming. And then when I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I think I'm getting okay at this, I started putting a little bit more money into it. It wasn't until late last year I bought this camera. I bought myself a mirrorless Sony a6000 camera for my my camera. That just happened. I bought this. Before I bought that, I bought this $100 Rode Pod mic microphone. And I go online, Alpha Gaming. I don't know if you're familiar with Alpha Gaming. My man,
I am. Actually,
that's
my guy. Harris Heller.
Harris Heller has saved my channel. I've got a video. He made a video with a guy that's a sound producer, and he sat down and he said, hey, here's a $100 microphone. I want you to make it sound like my $5,000 microphone. And the guy sat there, walked through and did it. I send that video to every streamer who inboxes me. Hey, how do I make my stream better? Bow, there you go. That's how you do it. This microphone sounds like a more expensive microphone because of the OBS filters I've got on it. So the best equipment you can use is what you've got. Slowly upgrade. Upgrade your microphone first. Once you get your audio right, upgrade your camera so it looks right. And then I recently, just last year, bought a second gaming PC. So now I've got my streaming PC running by itself and a gaming PC. And the reason I've got that is because I noticed that some of my animations were slowing my computer down, because I like the flashy stuff. I like stuff to pop in and, you know, all the animation stuff. When somebody gives stars to me, dude, I like to stop the stream and I like to celebrate it, because in that moment, that person, whether it's 10 stars or 10,000 stars, that was what that person could give to my content to show me, hey, Manic, I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it. Here's what I've got. So to me, when I get 10 stars, it means the earth to me, because that's what they could do. And they put their credit card information in, and they said, I need Manic to have these 10 stars. I need him to know I support him. And so I shut it down whenever I get stars, and I do these animations and all kind of stuff, because I want them to feel that appreciation.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And that's kind of what we were saying earlier about like what your niche being. Like mine's initially was presentation. Like I became like the sweaty MK player, but mine's initially was presentation. So kind of how you were saying the thing about stars. One thing that I got from mine is pretty funny. I went and found these animated GIFs of Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Bowser. And so it's like whenever somebody sends me stars, they run across the bottom of my screen, with the like they're basically chasing the star and it comes back and forth. And that's only specifically because of this. But like it is kind of what you said about the whole thing, like the equipment is the best that you got. Because I remember like when I first got started, I always wanted to buy something or upgrade, but like mic was most important. So like I don't know if you can see here in the camera. I'm gonna raise it up some, but like I got the Wavelength 3. And the main reason that I got it is because it's basically a digital mixer mic. So everything that you're doing with OBS filters, I get that out the gate automatically just by like having Wavelength. And then as you said about like the camera, I got like the Sony 5100. But the camera was like, the channel was already going before the camera came into play. That just made it feel like, doper because everything looks smoother.
Yeah.
But some people, I have had people ask me that recently, like, yo, what do I need to buy? And it's like, honestly, bro, you need a console and a mic to start. And then from there, get your not even get your camera. I would get your lighting, then get your camera, because your camera is going to look like trash without your lighting.
And your lighting, boy, that lighting is a problem.
Yeah, lighting is real. I'm big on lighting. Like this, the vibe. Like you see the vibes. I love the lights, bro.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, but look, even lighting. Like my camera looks kind of funny right now because I'm using that Manic cam so I can share the camera back and forth. So it's kind of got like a gamma on it. But I've got a photography soft box right here. The thing is freaking massive. I can't even look at it or I'll be seeing stars for an hour. And then I've got another cheap little, I could probably show you, but it's a little cheap, just a square softbox kind of a light. I got them both off of Amazon. Got it for, I think it was less than $100 for both of them. And they do me all right. They do me all right. Yeah. I got those LEDs back there. I just added that. I got a hate-love relationship with LEDs. I got them joints from Walmart. They were like $7. Throw them on there. You know
what you hate about?
I don't know. I never make them. I'm never happy is my problem. I'm such a perfectionist.
Yeah, you want to evolve every time. That's different than like the lights being bad.
Yeah, I think my lighting is okay. I'm just always, like I was saying before, I'm always looking for a way that I can set myself apart. I differentiate myself from the competition. And one way I chose to do it early on was my production, the camera, the microphone, the lighting, trying to make this look as professional as possible. And a lot of people don't realize, but early on when I started doing this Mortal Kombat stuff all the time, I've got these screens. Let's see. Let me see if I've got them even on here right now. Let me see. Bow. I want to show you what I'm talking about so you understand what I'm doing here. Let me see. Holy crap.
I said, though, when we first spoke, when we did that collab not too long ago, I said, like, your backdrop kind of blew my mind. Because, I mean, like, that's like a real collection. And in order to have that, you got to have a wall behind you. Like, I would love something like that, but I don't have a wall behind me. Yeah. But that shit looks like super duper fire for real.
I love that stuff back there, man. I just added to it again. My wife's about ready to kick me in the head. I seen that Liu Kang today, and I was like, snatched. She's like, didn't you just buy stuff? I'm like, look, I did, but here I am. This is who I am. So this stuff right here, these things that I do for the stars, they look pretty simple, right? Pretty easy, right? Look, I made these frame by frame.
The whole animation?
The whole animation was frame by frame from original sprites from the game. So when I'm telling you this stuff takes time, I decided, a lot of people use star screens, but I said, I want a star screen. I hadn't seen anybody doing this before. I want a star screen that doesn't take the focus off of the gameplay, that I can still be face to face with my viewer, engage my viewers, but at the same time, celebrate the stars. How do I do that? Well, what if I just had something that pops up on the screen? Everything's still here. I'm still here. I'm still doing everything, but they're getting a thank you on the screen. That is just for that person that sent me stars. So I made these frame by frame for a long time until I realized how I could do it another way. So now I make them that way. But these first ones, I mean, that was frame by frame in Premiere Pro. That stuff took time.
Do you got them randomized?
What's that?
Do you got them randomized? You got them randomized wherever?
No, I've got.
They like in order?
Yeah, I've got. Let me see if I can pull this up so you can see it. I've got.
You got so many. You've already showed like 5 or 6 of them already. Like that's a lot in general.
I've got probably 30 of them. And
that's crazy.
So I use a program called Touch Portal. And what I did was I bought a cheap tablet off of Amazon, and Touch Portal basically replaces the the Stream Deck And so it's on my computer and it's on this. It's 100% customizable. I could do anything I want with this thing. I run my entire stream off of this thing. When I switch my pages, like if I were to do this right here, so we're hold on, we're doing the podcast. I'm gonna mess myself up here. Let's watch this. All right, so we're doing the podcast, right?
Yeah.
All of this right here, all of this stuff is done with this thing. I run it all right here. So that's just something I do I think it gives me a good production value.
I would have to say, Manic, honestly, because I know how anal I am about putting stuff together, you might even be more tedious than I am.
I'm bad.
And that was like even just looking at how like those screens pull down to the side, how fluid that is, how it can switch from different scenes. Like you might be even more tedious than me, or either it's the combination of having the access to that level of computer. Because I think if I had that, I think my brain would never be able to stop. Like it just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that you imagine is like I know how to put this together, and that's basically what I'm seeing like in your presentation. Even when you just showed that transition right there,
it's a problem. It really is. I have to stay out of the studio because if I'm in here, I'm gonna be doing stuff. And I'll look at this. Like I'm looking at my screen right now, and it looks like the cameras are justified about 7 pixels too far to the left, and it's driving me bananas. Right now.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? I got a question for you, Lou. Have you faced Honeybee before? That's from Ice God on YouTube.
Ironically, is that I want to play him, but he plays the type of character where I'm going to get tilted. I don't want to fight Devourer. And he's good with Devourer, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I already know what time it is, but I think I've only played like 3 to 4 pros, Ninja being the most popular. Yeah. I played Forever King. I think there's somebody else in there. And to be honest with you, it'd be dope if it happened. I know it's kind of hard. I've been trying to get Sonic Fox. I've been trying to get Sonic Fox on. But my name ain't got that type of pull just yet.
Yeah.
So it's been a little rough.
Well, man, I think you're killing it out there, man. I've been impressed by your full court press on the social media platforms. Something I have a hard time with is I've got a TikTok, I've got a Twitter, I've got a Facebook, I've got a YouTube. Finding time to put content out on each of those has been 100% impossible for me. I've decided that I'm gonna focus on Twitter. I'm gonna start being active on Twitter. What's that?
Why that? Why that one? What made you pick that one?
I picked that one because I've seen a lot of fight teams run a lot of their stuff off of Twitter and Discord. Facebook, I run a fight team over here, the Merciless Redheads, and being that I'm not sweaty, I'm a filthy casual. I can't beat a lot of these guys, but with a fight team, I can have sweaty guys who can go out and fight these guys and get the name out there. It's an advertisement platform for me. So we run the team, and to get the fights with those teams, I've found, which is why I'm live on Twitch right now, because a lot of those big time guys they're on Twitch. They're not on Facebook. There's a few guys who run really great teams. That's not what I'm saying. Most of the competitive play is over on Twitch, and it's on Twitter, and it's in Discord. So we've had Discord up running for a while. So I've started going on Twitch, and I've started going on Twitter, just trying to get some fights going for the team. We just had Kings with Authority on last week, and that's turned out to be a fantastic relationship. Those guys over at, I don't know if you know anybody over there at KWA. Those are some stand-up individuals over there. Some of my favorite people I've met so far in this streaming game have been those guys over the past week. I had the owner reach out to me, and I've had probably 5 or 6 real conversations on the phone, just talking about different things, willing to help, willing to listen. So I cannot say enough about those KWA guys. They've been amazing and opened my eyes to some avenues maybe that I wasn't pressing for quite enough. So I think they've definitely leveled me up. Just that one relationship has leveled me up just in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. I think when it comes to like the whole platform thing, like the idea of like you were saying, like how I put out volume for like all these different places, right? So like I said, the main reason that I enjoy Facebook is because you don't have to be live to engage with your audience. As far as like it's just little nuanced things. Like you put stuff on your page, you can share it to the different groups that you out there with. And then the thing that's really cool about Facebook is like, let's say that I make a post on LS Vision Gaming and I share it out to some of the groups that I'm in from LS Vision Gaming, right? Anybody who engages with those posts automatically get the invite button. The same one that you would get post stream, you get that invite button like on all posts. So I like it for that reason.
Yeah.
TikTok is funny because I actually had a friend, and this kind of like really woke me up. And this is why I go so hard on all the platforms now, right? I had a friend about 3 years ago when I was starting a channel, a homie from high school. He was like, bro, you need to make a TikTok and put your game and stuff on there.
Yeah.
And I remember being short sighted. I was like, bro, that's for kids. They be in there dancing. I'm not really with none of that. That was like forever ago, right? So I made the account. I put some Dragon Ball Fighter clips up. Some of them got a couple hundred views, but they really didn't pop off, right? So I leave it alone. All of a sudden, I'm getting around different people I'm talking to. Everybody's starting to use it. Everybody's starting to kind of build brands on it. And I'm like, bro, I probably should go ahead and make one. So I make one, and it kind of started off slow. Then I have a video pop off for $1 million. Get like 7,000 followers within like a week. You know what I'm saying? And I remember feeling annoyed because I'm like, if I would have listened to my homeboy 3 years ago when he said it, instead of having 30,000 followers, I might have 400,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, it's not even about just the platform in itself. It's more so about how it generates to your other areas. And this is like traffic and money now. It's not even just about like visibility. It's more like genuine opportunities that come for this. So when it comes to, like the whole thing about why do I touch every platform, it's because it's like, let's say the CEO of TikTok does some wild ass shit and get the whole thing shut down because he like got involved in some crazy scandal. Now you still got your 1,000 some over here, your 2,000 there, your 10,000 there. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of necessary because what if Twitch goes under? Like you got to be available everywhere, or you got to start from the bottom. Like imagine having like 50,000 subscribers on Twitch, and then you move to a different platform. You got to start from zero. Granted, a lot of those people may love you and they might follow you, but I mean that's a lot of people to get back, dog. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I actually had that exact thing happen to me. We lost this channel, my Manic Red channel. I've still not gotten it back. My first channel I started, I lost back in, it was October 28th of 2019. I lost everything I'd worked for. Gone.
What happened?
Some hacker got on and changed my password, turned on two-way authentication. I couldn't two-way authenticate it, so they wouldn't let me back in. Still to this day, I've not gotten them to allow me back in. So I had to start completely over from scratch. And luckily, it worked out for me. I've tripled the size of my page since then, so it really didn't hurt us. But I was living proof of you put all your eggs in one basket. Somebody knocks that basket out of your hands, you got nothing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You know. So it was a real wake up call for me and my content. And then I ended up doing the very thing that I said I wouldn't do, and I sold out on Facebook again, because Facebook is the platform that provides the most monetary gain for me. YouTube, I don't make anything off of YouTube. I refuse to make anything off of Twitch because if you join affiliate on Twitch, then you can't simul stream, and I just can't give up the revenue that Facebook provides me. I can't do it. So really, Facebook is where the money's made. I've heard there's good money to be made on TikTok, but like I said before, with finding the niche, I'm at a standstill with TikTok because I'm looking at it the same way. How do I differentiate myself from the other people on TikTok? What do I do? Am I going to do these crazy dances? I'm too old for that. I can't dance like I used to. I can't be on here doing the daggum Cupid shuffle. Nobody wants to see that shit in 2022, and that's where I was. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. Like you don't, and that's kind of like you and me, kind of in that same age range, generation wise. Why I kind of thought that same thing when it was said to me, like, bro, I'm not doing that. There's little kids dancing and doing silly shit.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily just that. It used to be in the past, maybe, or maybe we was just short sighted and we didn't see like the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely not that now.
Well, I catch myself too. I like to create content that I would like to entertain. That makes sense. Like if I'm going to make content, I want it to be content that I can watch. You know what I mean? So these tournaments that I do that, man, because I love it. I love watching these dudes sweat on this Mortal Kombat stuff. I love screaming and yelling at the mic and getting hyped and hyping these boys up for these fire fights that they're having with the neutral duck D2 out of nowhere. How did you read that? The short hop, that stuff, it really does just get me hyped. Like I'm not acting up here. I'm not an actor. I'm legitimately hyped for this stuff. I enjoy doing it. So if I'm going to create TikTok stuff, I feel like it's kind of got to be the same way. It's got to be something that I would enjoy to watch, you know? So is that telling jokes? I don't know. Is it doing the voiceovers for those silly, like, oh, our table, it's broken. Like, okay. That's the kind of stuff I like. I'm fast as fuck, boy. That's the stuff that I enjoy taking in on TikTok. So it's hard for me because I don't have time to be sitting there making these TikToks all day like that. I mean, the stuff that you do with your Mortal Kombat stuff, you can do because you are as sweaty as you are and as crazy of an MK player, you know, so people are going to watch that, you know what I mean? But then some of your content's hilarious, and I'm like, damn it, my dude's funny too. That's bullshit.
See, this is the thing though when it comes to like TikTok, and I got this idea. I got to give it. It's my homeboy A-Train. We've been cool since high school, but it was like because he works. Where does he work? He works at a company called Square, and they kind of like tied into like Cash App and different places like that. So he gets to peek behind the curtain about like a lot of social media marketing stuff. And granted, like, you know, my job is like at a YouTube content creation company, but seeing behind the curtain and kind of seeing how these numbers and how these things work, it kind of like puts you in a different frame of mind. So like, for instance, you saying like Mortal Kombat and dancing and stuff like that. Something I've been experimenting with lately when I do like Mortal Kombat content, instead of showing a cool round while like I do a saucy combo, I'll chop it down to only when I'm attacking the opponent. So it'll take the video from about 45 seconds to maybe 21, 22 seconds, and it seems to hit more efficiently. So it's like if the watch time is high, the video get pushed out. Like I put out a video about a week, like not a week, more like 4 or 5 days ago, and that shit is like, it's currently like 600,000 views and however many, like it's stupid. Like it might hit 1 million, you know what I'm saying? I've had one hit 1 million before, and this feels just like that one. But like, I've done like the little skits and stuff like that, like the funny stuff that you're referring to, and that was actually legitimately supposed to be TikTok customized content, and some of it didn't hit, some of it did. But it's like overall, if you can try to keep like a cool clip under, I don't know, 30 seconds or less, and you got something that just kind of hit at the right time, and then like you start looking at your analytics, like okay, my demographic is like for instance, my demographic is 97% male, 3% female. So obviously I'm not going to make any content that would be appealing to women, which sounds terrible, but I don't have a women viewer base, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like they tend to get on around noon, you know what I'm saying? Around like noon. So I'm not going to upload a video at 6 a.m. if they're not really even going to be on to noon to catch it. So it'd be like small stuff like that. But I mean, I think you should mess around with it, bro. And I think you should try to like chop things in a way where you get that under like 30 seconds and get the sweet spot. Because even the first time you and me did that collab, when you hopped on that mic with the chipmunk voice and things like that, I don't know nobody else who does that, bro. That's like, I remember, because what I usually do is I'll screen record when I do a collab with somebody. I screen recorded that. I ain't put it on my Instagram yet. I never seen nobody. I'm like, yo, that's really dope. I forgot. I think somebody gave you some stars or something. You like went off on the mic for like 20 seconds in that chipmunk voice. I was like, yo, that's really creative. I would have never thought to do that. So you got the ideas. It's just about basically feeding people's attention span, which is shorter by nature. You know what I'm saying? Which even mine is shorter by nature.
You know where I got that idea from?
Oh, where do you get that from?
I watch the Joe Rogan podcast on my way to work every day.
Uh-huh.
Snoop Dogg was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he brought one of these shits with him. And he kept talking shit to Joe Rogan in it. And I was like, man, that would be hilarious if I did that for whenever somebody gave stars. So I went to Amazon and bought me one, and I started doing it. And I don't know, it's hit or miss. It's different because a lot of people have the Stream Deck where they could change their voice and that. I was like, yeah, that's cool, but this is something different. You know what I mean? And again, it was another way I could differentiate myself from everybody. And I even told chat because, I mean, I'm sure you know, people watch these. Some of these viewers I have, they watch and they go, "Oh, I'm gonna do that on my stream now." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to steal that. I'm gonna do that on my stream now. I told my chat, I was like, y'all see another streamer with this damn microphone, you tag me, because I'm gonna go see him. Because I'm about sick and tired. But
bro, they'll steal. People will steal.
Well, and you know what sucks about it is I've had very large streamers do that to me. Well, they'll take something that I was doing, add it to their stream, and we all kind of pick and borrow from each other. But
Of course.
I noticed that when the bigger streamer does it to a smaller streamer, automatically it's the bigger streamer's idea. So
Yeah, it's the belly of the beast. It's kind of scumbaggy, to be honest.
yeah, so there's things that I've had to stop doing on my channel. Fearless said, I just ordered one. Boy, I come see you so quick. I'll be knocking right on your door. Right on your door. You're going to think it's next Friday with my foot right in the middle of your door. I'm telling you right now. But but yeah, so it sucks when that happens. So there's a lot of things I've had to quit doing on my channel because other streamers have started doing it. And it is frustrating. So another piece of advice I would say is be uniquely you. Be something different. What that is,
Yeah,
I
see,
can't answer for you. I have no idea.
yeah, of course not. And the thing is, I noticed this about you. I would say Rossi does it too. Even Phyllis does it also. He does a great job. It's like, so I feel like this is something I want to incorporate. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to angle that, and maybe it just might come down to like software stuff, like overlay stuff and things like that. But what you guys do a great job of, an amazing job of, y'all create experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like when I watch Rossi's Monday night fights and stuff like that, that's like a real. It's almost like attending the WWE of Mortal Kombat 11 when he does that. You know what I'm saying? And then like you know, you got the dope ass animations, obviously like second to none animations. You got the mic where you switch up your voice. You got the giveaways. You got the backdrop. You got the Mortal Kombat light that nobody else has. You got the Mortal Kombat arcade. It's like, and then you know, Fearless, he gonna grind hard. He gonna give you 7 hours of Combat League. I have no clue how his brain even functions on that shit. Like, I play an hour of Combat League on stream. All right, who won viewer set? So I'm playing something else. Like, so y'all do a great job of creating experiences, and I think that's the main way to like be unique, where somebody can't go to somebody else's stream and duplicate what you do. Me, I'm more about presentation and sweaty gameplay. I guess that's kind of like my calling, and like chill vibes with the music.
Yeah.
But I think overall, when you create an experience, can't nobody steal your shit because it's yours. Like, can't nobody go out and take Dr. Disrespect's gimmick because that's what he does. He puts on the wig, he puts on the vest. He puts on the shit. They can try. I seen somebody not too long ago. I don't know what his name. I just seen somebody days ago, and it's nasty, bro. It's nasty as hell because it's like, how you gonna try to do his thing, bro? That's him. I know who. I don't watch Dr. Disrespect streams, and I know who he is because of that style.
There's a dude on. I'm not gonna say nobody's name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. There is a very big streamer in the first person space that is straight up the great value Dr. Disrespect. He's got the same glasses. He's got the damn mullet with the curls and the headset and the damn jacket piece. And when I see it, I'm just like, how do you look at yourself? Like, I could never photocopy somebody and look myself in the mirror. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, I saw that, and I don't know his name, and I wouldn't say his name to give like any attention to that per se. But I remember seeing it. Within the past 2 weeks. I saw that, and I was like, "Hey, where's the vest?" And I was like, "Oh, that's not him." But you know, some people have made a living off of being the anti, like what's that, Goldberg and Dilberg or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Like, some people do spin that off and do that, but it is kind of like. Because it's like, how do you sustain that every single day if that's not really who you are? You know what I'm saying? Like being the anti, like a Manic me, like what if I was Manic Blue? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that? If I was Manic Blue, how could I sustain that every day? And everything you did, I did the same thing I did it in blue and called my team the Manic Blue Heads or some dumb, like that should be. But I mean, some people will try it, man. Some people will try it.
Well, you know, it's not easy being original. It's not easy coming up with these ideas, and what a lot of people don't see too is not every one of these ideas that I do on my stream, not all of them succeeded at first. A lot of them got left on the floor because we realized right after I started integrating it, that's actually trash. That's not what I thought it was going to be. That's too much work for what it was. This and that. I get caught up a lot in the intricacies of the stream and the overlays and my wife tells me all the time, she's like, you just spent 3 hours doing something that no one's going to notice you did. No one.
Yeah. But you notice. But I feel her on that, but you notice. It's a sense of fulfillment that you had an idea and you brought it to life.
Yeah.
That does count for something.
Like this little dude right below me, this little guy below me I got on my HypeCon, right? I got an artist to draw that up for me. It's a static photo, wasn't good enough. He needs to breathe. So I spent mad long in Premiere Pro trying to make his chest go big and small again. Like I'm looking at it right. I know it's doing it, and I can't tell it's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent mad long because I was like, no, he needs to breathe. He needs to breathe. So it's stuff like that, man. I get caught up. I get the manic blue heads. I'm telling you, they're out there.
Have you ever from like going so hard with like the presentation and things like that? Because this is what I found on accident. This is what I thought was really cool. When I first started making my animated overlays and a few others, I had a couple different streamers reach out to me for business to make them some. And like I set up like they overlays, I set up their stream elements, all their different alerts and things like that. I think the first one I charged somebody $300, and it kind of blew my mind because it was like I wasn't promoting that I had that skill set. I was just doing it on mine, and they liked it so much that they like wanted to come pay for it because they didn't know how to do it. And you know how they say, if you know how to do something good, you never do it for free. So my thing is, with you having all these skills that you're using to yours, do you ever like promote your service to anybody or extend that? Because they obviously don't know how to do that, and you're second to nobody when it comes to animations. But they got to have the hardware. It's the only problem to be able to do it.
No, I haven't. And actually, what's funny is the stuff that I do is not hardware intensive. The most hardware intensive thing that I do on my channel is photo slideshows. That's the most intense thing for some reason. I run a very small, it's a WebM file is what it is. That's what all of my overlays are. They're very small files that you can run without a whole lot of CPU usage. So no, I have, if you look around, you'll see my stuff on some streamers. You'll see some of my stuff on their stuff. But I haven't charged. I don't know why I haven't charged.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had a few people reach out. A couple of big streamers reach out to me, say, "Hey, can you make this for me?" And I just make it for them. I don't know.
It's a thin line because it's like I be wanting to be paid for my services, but then it's like offering some things for free. But it's like I offer like an animated camera border or something like that. But it's like, fam, this stuff take time. Like when I did that first person stream, and their alerts and all that, and that turnaround for $300, I did that shit till like 2 a.m. Like I remember my like at the time, like my girl being asleep in the bed. Like when you come to bed, and I was like, bro, I was just working. I was trying to get it done because like, I'm anal about quality. Like if I'm anal about my own quality, I'm not gonna give you some half-ass shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not sure. To this day, I'm God, what am I? A couple years into this now, I think. May 1st, I'll be 2 years into streaming, and I still don't know where this is going. I have no clue.
You mean for you personally, or you mean like the world of streaming in general?
No, for me specifically. Where does this end? What my wife asked me a while back. She's like, "Where are you going with this? Like, what are you trying to build?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just having fun." And I think that comes out in my streams. I think that, just wanting to come in and hang out. There's days where I haven't felt like going live, and I'll do it anyway, just because I'm a creature of habit. I'll go live. Bow. First few minutes, you can kind of tell, because I go back and watch some of my streams. You could tell, man, I just wasn't there. But my chat energizes me, man. These guys hype me up. As much as I hype them up, they hype me up. And there's days where I'm having rough days. Look, this past week, I got some real bad news from my family, and I was in a pretty dark spot, and I went live. And these boys had me laughing. They had me joking, and so without getting too emotional and too silly on this thing, I love you guys in my chat because you guys really are family to me, and I treat it that way, and that just is what it is, man. So I don't know where I'm going, but damn it, I'm gonna have some fun while I go there.
Yeah, I think you get too wrapped up in like the destination. You don't necessarily appreciate the journey. Because I mean, I just looked up today and saw I had 2,000 some followers on mine, and I didn't realize it because I really don't check the follower count like that. Just be like kicking it, but it is kind of wild in the back of your mind because you start asking yourself, well, like, why not me? As far as like the level, you know what I'm saying, getting to like whatever level that you consider success from other streamers you watch, you do ask yourself, well, why am I not capable of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that impossible? If I got this far, why can't I keep going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think of things that would be fun to do. Like, I think it would be great to like get on a much bigger platform and do some announcing. I had an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity last year to do that for a Rocket League competition, and I started to do it. I just couldn't get the time off of work, but I really do think that where I excel is the commentary for games like this. So I think if I were to say, well, that would be where I want to be, I think that's where it would be. It would be on a grander stage, doing commentating at I don't know, sure at a high level, but at a decent level and having a gang of fun. You know,
Yeah,
that's where I think
makes
I'd like
sense.
to end up.
Yeah, I don't really have one in mind. I think for me it's more just like kind of cross referencing everything. Like when I started like the LSV merch store and like a lot of people supported that, including you, which I genuinely appreciate, bro.
Yeah,
You
man.
actually were definitely early on with that. Like I was working on that since February of last year. I didn't launch it till November or December. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I purchased everything back then. But it was like even like the way it started off, it kind of made me laugh because it's like, damn, you own like a little small business, but
Yeah.
this all started from gaming. So it do kind of make your brain like the wheels start spinning like, well, what am I truly capable of if I just like don't stop? But
Yeah.
then it's crazy because it's like it has a direct hindrance on other areas of life that aren't important to me, like relationships or having a kid or what I'm saying, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I'm well aware of the fact that that's something I'm kind of sacrificing at this moment. And when I'll stop, who knows?
Yeah, well, I always say I met my wife. I was pretty young. I think I was. Ooh, don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit. But oh man, I was 24 or 25 when I met her, and she had a daughter already. So I kind of jumped into that, but that's before any of this was really real, So I
Mhm.
came into this with a family. But at the end of the day, man, I tell my kids this. I'll tell anybody in chat that wants to talk about it. And I mean, I'll tell you the same thing. Look, if you're having fun, have fun because there's
Mhm.
plenty of time for all the other stuff, all the
Yep.
grinding and yeah. I finally got to a point in my life where I looked at my wife the other day and said, this is weird. I've been grinding my whole life. And I think that's why I like this streaming thing so much. Because outside of streaming, I've got no grind left. I've grinded it out. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm there. So now it's like, okay, well, I got the streaming thing. I can grind at this. I can grind it. But the problem is I've got the mentality where like I go all in on something. I, I can't half-ass anything. It's whole ass or no ass. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
streaming thing is kind of the same thing. My wife's got to pull me back all the time. Like, baby, you've been in the studio all day. Come on, come hang out. You know what I mean? So she keeps me level like that. But yeah, man, if you're having fun, man, have some fun, man. Have some fun.
Yeah, I feel you. That's kind of what a numbers thing can't be like a determinant because like I definitely get like a lot of people who reach out a lot and be like, yo, bro, seeing like your growth is like inspiring, but like what
Yeah.
should I do or how should I grow this or that thing? And it's kind of funny because it's like there's no real way to tell somebody that like they're unique. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you'll ask me what should you do, but it's like I don't know what you should do because I don't know like what your intentions is, what your approach is, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And even like it took me a minute to kind of find my own. And I didn't really have anybody that I tried to copy, but like what you said about alpha gaming, Harris Heller was definitely he was like my like the Bible version of the streamer. You know what I'm saying? Like I would
Yeah.
go to him for pretty much everything until I started to feel more confident in what I was doing, then making my own tutorials about certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just some content that's very evergreen and some things that are always relevant. So I think as long as a person like stays true to themselves and put out things that can be like evergreen, like certain tutorials, things of that nature,
Yeah.
it'll just keep going forward because I mean, it has to. You know what I'm saying? Like people are aware that you exist.
Yeah. Harris Heller and Nutty. I don't know if you're familiar with Nutty.
I'm familiar with both.
Those.
Like honestly, Manic, it sounds like not to cut you off. It sounds like you and me share a lot of the same mentality as far as how we go about shit.
Yeah.
Because everybody you mentioned, I'm familiar with, and I know why you searched them up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I know about Nutty. I've never seen any Nutty's gameplay, but I've seen a ton of his tutorials. It sounds like we just from that age range where we're very like technical and analytical in how we go about doing things.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna, I was telling my daughter the other day, she's trying out for softball tomorrow. I told her, I said, look, if you're gonna do something, it doesn't make any sense to go in and just kind of do it. If you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it, be the damn best at it, or don't do it. So I get caught up a lot trying to, like we talked about with the little things with the overlays and stuff. I get caught up trying to make everything so perfect and so right. So when I go to execute it, I execute it with an amount of precision that makes somebody go, oh, okay. You know, even if that person is me, sometimes I'll look back and I'm like, man, that was sick. Nobody noticed it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so those two guys, I watched their stuff for, I mean, at exhaust before I finally pulled the trigger on the streaming stuff. And I did that because I get upset when I don't know how to do something. When I get caught in a
Yeah.
position where, you know, my wife laughs at me all the time because, like, being a homeowner, man, it's always something got to get done. And I'm cheap,
Yeah.
so I don't want to pay nobody to do it. So I'm in there trying to figure it out. I've never done it before in my life. And I won't say, hey, Justin, dude, you've never done this before, man. Just relax. No, I'm in there. Why is this doing this? And this don't make no sense. And I'm yelling and screaming at it. And it's just because I don't like not knowing what I'm doing. So when I go into anything, I try to be as prepared as possible. So I don't know. That's how I am. But
Yeah, it sounds like we have obsessive personalities when it comes to things of quality to like represent us. Because I'm definitely that way. I got into about a 3 to 4 week spell when I first got to Dallas where I wasn't sleeping till like 5, 6 in the morning because I was just always up thinking about content shit because my setup wasn't here yet. It didn't get shipped in.
yeah.
So I was just like obsessing over what I needed to do to get the views and shit rolling when I got back. But like I kind of had to check myself out of that. But I go into those spells, bro, where like I don't know if it's just like a creator's brain or whatever our generation is, but it's like I go into those spells where I'm up to 4 and 5 in the morning every single night because I'm just obsessing over what needs to happen next on LSV.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. I've gotten good now at being able to silence those voices a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With the job that I do, it's hard for guys to turn that off when they leave the job because the stress is so high and it's a high stress environment. People have a hard time turning it off. Well, I learned, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, how to leave that job at the job when I walk out of the door. And I think that I've finally, over the past probably 6 months, figured out how to do that with streaming too, where I could turn it off. And the major way that I do that is I stay the hell out of here. Unless I've got time, if I've got 2 or 3 hours where I can sit down and grind out an idea, there's a million of them now. I write them down on my phone. And then I could sit here and I can accomplish it. Because if I get halfway into something, I've got to go change a diaper, or I've got to go pay the water bill, or do something. My brain is racked. It's riddled with nothing but that. I got to get back and I got to knock that out. I got to go finish. Because if I don't finish that thought, it will plague me. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're kind of the same way. Phil said it's okay to be proud of your hard work. At the same time, numbers come and go. Streaming is more about trying to create a community. That's where the loyalty's at. Views and numbers don't matter. They come and go. They do.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got a point. It's like I think that's why initially I consider myself more of a content creator because I used to think of content creator as somebody who makes things, and I thought of streamers as somebody who was live. And so I kind of see how those worlds blended over time. But that was why initially I started to just always focus on my YouTube channel. And I think as of late, as I've gotten more familiarized with the community, I've got more familiarized with me, I realized like, yo, it's just kind of dope to talk to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start chopping down some of my streams and making those actual episodes for the YouTube channel too, because you know having a reaction with people is cool. But then there's also the opposite side of it because when some pop off, what I noticed, and I wonder if you've been through this, and I'm sure you have, especially like with the success of the Facebook page. Do you have situations where you feel like that people attack your shit because they want to do the same thing, but they don't really know how, and they don't got like their pride or ego kind of stops them from maybe wanting to ask, like, how did you do it? So it's like, okay, like for instance, like let's say I make a saucy clip and I'm cooking with Liu Kang. Somebody who could be a competitive player that plays all the time but doesn't have their name out there. Oh, you're trash. I can beat you or I can take you or blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, they're not following me because I'm the best person on earth because it's obviously pro players that are better than us. Do you get that a lot? And if so, like, like, I know how I go about it, but how do you deal with that? Because I don't think I've ever heard you speak on that at any given time. And I'm sure you've encountered it at least once.
Well, I'm a different kind of dude. I was a small kid growing up. I got bullied a lot. I was a little dude until like sophomore year of high school. Now shut up. I learned how to fight, obviously, because I had to, but I found that better than fighting was to be able to turn that bullshit back around on them and be funny and turn their joke into a joke on them. And then 9 years in the Navy taught me how to talk a gang of shit. So my channel is funny because I have several times had what I call trolls come into chat.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you're trash. Da 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 da. And I'll always start with, all right, fire it up and let's do it. Let's go. Usually they'll shut up and go away. But I love the opportunity. I've told my mods this before because we have a mod chat, and my mods will, you want me to get rid of him? And I'm always like, no, I'm about to have fun. And I just have fun with it. I'll sit there and I'll talk shit with somebody over and over again where I see a lot of streamers, people will come in, and that's why they do it. They come into chat like, oh, you sound like a nerd. Why don't you this is one I got. Why don't you get a job and stop playing video games all day? Like, stupid, I do work, man. This is fun for me. Like, I love that opportunity because I love going at a troll. Look, Nikki's like, facts. Yeah, she's one of my mods. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. I love that opportunity for somebody to come in my chat. And I've got a few people that are loyal viewers now who started out as trolls that came in and were like trying to troll me, trying to get under my skin. It's not going to happen. Like I was saying, you see a lot of streamers, those people will come in chat and it'll lock the streamer up. And I'm going to end the stream. And they're running from these guys. These dudes are bullies, bro. And what does a bully not like? Another bully.
Getting punched.
And I will bully you right back, baby, because I love talking shit.
See,
you know what I mean?
The thing that's funny to me about that is like it's a double-edged sword for me because it's like, especially like when I got some shit that pop off on TikTok, because this is one thing to get something to go crazy on Facebook, but like, dog, you really don't process in your mind what 1 million views feels like until you just get notification after non-fucking stop. Like the video I put out a few days ago, that shit has like 600,000 views, 60-some thousand likes, and like a good 1,500 comments. And the majority of those comments are love, but it's like I get caught in the middle because it's like, since if I know that I'm playing somebody who doesn't, like, obviously, like, I'm pretty fucking good at the game. So it's like I know a lot of shit that the average player probably doesn't know, which helps me be good. So you'll say something, like somebody will say something really, like, let's say for instance, like I'm fighting against Joker and I'm throwing a ton of fireballs to like control space. You will have some idiot talking about, oh, you're trash. All you did was throw fireballs, not understanding that Joker wins the matchup in neutral on pretty much the whole entire cast, damn near, right? So it's like, on one hand, you be wanting to like explain to them that because like you're trying to teach them something, but on the flip side, it's like, oh, you're just garbage. You know what you're talking about, this and this and that. And then it's like, I be wanting to whoop their ass because I know I can, but on the flip side, it's like, if I reward one person's bad behavior, then everybody gonna think like this is the way I get games with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you really can't win because it's like, I can't kick your ass because if I kick your ass and I gave you what you wanted, which was the attention, and if I like keep responding to you, then, or if I don't respond to you, then you think, oh, I got you salty, or I went up on you. Like most times I just be having to like block after a while, but that shit do be kind of fucking annoying. Like if I'm just being honest, because it's like, dog, I know like a good 80% of y'all can't beat me when y'all talk to me this way. But I can't say that because if I say that and beat you, now I'm just inviting the other dudes to come do the same thing because they just all want their chance to play. And 9 times out of 10, it's always the content creator that got 70 followers that's just upset that he don't know how to grow his shit. Not realizing like it's not about how good I am, it's about the branding.
Yeah. Well, I think if you make a fool out enough of those guys, they'll stop doing it. I had a guy, I don't remember. It's been a while back. This was back when I was playing Mortal Kombat 11, 6 days a week, 4+ hours a day. I was playing and I was getting decent. That's subsided now because I don't get to play as much. But I was getting pretty good, and I had a guy come and chat, da-da-da-da-da, you're trash, da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, well, we got a room open. Come on in. And he did. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, I might be fucked. So we got in there, and we're fighting, and he beats me. And I'm reading chat, I'm da-da-da-da, just kind of like playing. I wasn't really going crazy. Well, he started teabagging me. And anybody who's on my channel knows that teabagging shit gets under my skin. I don't do disrespect. I don't disrespect anybody. and I expect you not to disrespect me. And when you do, we have a problem. And that's kind of silly that a grown man acts like that. But I don't know. It's just where I was raised, how I was raised, whatever. Respect is a big deal to me. You disrespect me, we got a problem. So I said, okay, so now we're teabagging. All right. And I turned my second monitor off. I moved my microphone, and I sweated. And I damn near double flawless the guy. When I got done, I was like, now, we don't do that shit on my... And I started yelling at the dude. Now get the hell out of... And I got way toxic on the guy. Chat was laughing hilariously. I look back on it, I'm just like, God, dog, man, you let him win. But I was like, now get your ass out of my chat. Don't ever come back. Come here talking shit. That's why you got double flawless, you punk ass. Get out of my... And it's like, it was completely unnecessary. But that was the one time that sticks out in my mind. I let a troll get to me. And it was all because he talked to gang shit. And I was having fun with him. And then he started teabagging me. And I don't know why I let that piss me off so bad. But never saw him again.
That's why I say you can't win. That's why I say you can't win, though. Because it's like, the reality is, even for like the average person that streams or puts out content or whatever, it's like, most people don't like really being quote unquote embarrassed or like falling flat on their face in front of people. Yeah. And as a person who puts things out to the public, like once you put that shit out, like that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't win everything. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna take your L's in front of like in whatever areas that they come. But it's like that person that's trolling you, I'll be having to remind myself like that's just the person who's scared to do anything in the public. Like they just don't got like the courage to do shit in front of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just like no different than like the first time I competed in somebody's stream, like in the fighting event with like 200 some people. I got in there and it's funny because I knew I was good at the game, but I felt my nerves because it was like all these people are watching. Yeah. After like playing a few times, you get past it. But 9 times out of 10, that person is doing that. They don't respect the process of that because they don't have the courage to put themselves out there in those situations. Yeah. That's all it is.
I used to really,
but it still is hard to not be human at the same time too.
Yeah, I used to really get my feelings about losing fights. Like I used to get pretty upset. There's a couple times I've lost my cool on stream early on because it's easy to forget that it's a video game and that it's not real sometimes, especially when like there's a certain amount of pressure. You're a Mortal Kombat content creator. You should not be garbage. You don't have to be the best, but you should not be garbage. And sometimes I boot this game up and your boy is garbage. Sometimes I can't hit a 3-hit combo. Sometimes I can't do anything in that game and I'm just getting washed up by people I was beating yesterday. And when you have days like that, it is easy to just turn toxic and to get upset and start yelling and acting a fool. Meanwhile, you're a grown man who pays taxes. Like, you should not be acting like that over video games. Let's leave that to the kids.
Combat is the evil place, though, dog. It's an evil place.
Yeah. Well, you have to stop and look in the mirror and go, you're playing a game because you're having fun. And I've told my mods this before too, that is a guiding light in my channel. I'm having fun. If I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it. I've had streamers that inbox me with all kind of swear words and calling me A, B's, and C's and talking down on my content. And like, for a moment, just being who I am, I'll let it get to me at first. Like, who do you think you are inboxing me? I don't know you from Joe Blow on the street. Why would you message me? I don't know you. I have no interaction with you. Why'd you feel the need? And I'll go back and forth, and then I'll say, you know what? I'm not having fun with this conversation. Why am I having it? This is taking the joy out of this hobby. It's a hobby for me. This is something I do because I'm having fun. If I'm not having fun anymore, I'm not entertaining it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things you just got to manage as your stuff grows. Because even today, when I was streaming, I streamed a little bit earlier today. I streamed some Kombat League, just getting my file out the way for today. Yeah. And some rating player, I almost beat him, and he lag switched on me. Like, so I dropped my combo, like the dead end of my Scorpion combo. I dropped it. So he ends up beating me. He teabags me, fatalities me, and then sends me a message after that that says, "Go get Liu Kang next time." So it made me laugh for 2 reasons. Because it was like, well, first of all, it made me laugh because it was like, well, first of all, you lag switch, so it's obvious you cheated. And then him sending the message after that, it dawned on me like, oh, like you're one of those people who's like, and it's weird because you don't get into like no weird ass celebrity mind state, but it's just like, okay, you do have somewhat of a name out here. So this person, like, it feels good to him to say that to you because like, oh, I beat the guy who like got the viewers or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm thinking like, bro, I don't win every game, but that's what he did. And it was like, I just had to hold that. He won the match. Even though he cheated to win, he won the match. So instead of me responding, I started responding. I just blocked him. Like, bro, you just can't. Because it's never going to end. You know what I'm saying? The bigger your stuff get, it's only going to happen more. So if you can't just like learn to kind of like be numb to that, it's always gonna get to you. How could it not? Because it's always gonna be there.
I've always wondered.
I think that's why a lot of people don't stream. That's why a lot of people don't stream because of that one reason.
I've just always wondered what happens in your life that causes you to be the kind of person who beats somebody in Kombat League and then sends them a message. Like, I've never in my life, even when I play at somebody and they switch to Jade and do that Jade bullshit with the D2 and all that, like, I'm never so mad that I'm gonna type them a message. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna type a message to this guy. Like, oh my God, who hurt you to make you that way? You know, because I'll get them all. This guy messaged me. I was live on stream one time. He messaged me with some cuss words after I beat him in Kombat League, and I was just like, dude, what is wrong? Talk to me. Something's going on in your life. And that's what I find with a lot of these trolls that act that way, is they're not happy at home. That's why they're trying to find somebody to put that negative energy out on. And your negative energy is not going to penetrate my body. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, because it's if you do that, let's say, like, I'm trying to think of like a specific scenario, but it's like if you do respond, then they tell you that you're salty.
Yeah.
And if you don't respond, like that's the weird one for me. Like, okay, so a prime example, and I'm sure some people in the stream may notice if they've seen the video, but so the other day I was playing this rating player, right? And I pretty much smoked him the first match in casual. Smoked him the first match, put the brute on him. So I'll put that in the video, right? The very next match, he beats me by 1 hit in casual. It's tied up 1-1. He teabags me, fatalities me, and leaves. Doesn't run the set. So as far as gamers go, you know, we play fighting games. Somebody got to win the set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my thing is, I don't care about you being scared to lose, but you can't teabag me and leave like you didn't just tie. As if that's not clear that you're scared to, like, you basically, you know that you won by luck. So I'll put the video, right? That's the video that's going crazy. That's doing like 600,000 views. So a good 80% of the chat is like, yo, that's weak as hell. You got to run the setback. He was scared to play you. But there's that 20%. Oh, you sound salty. Oh, you're mad. He kicked your ass, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking like, so he didn't just see me win the first match in this exact video. But I'm thinking like, you know what it is? It's because y'all that 20% that y'all would do this because y'all suck at the game. So I got to hold that. Like, you want to say that I'm salty because he beat me. I'm not salty he won. I was salty he didn't let. I'm not salty he didn't win. He tied. Yeah. I'm salty he didn't let a winner get decided. But it be like that, bro. And it's just like, you gotta. So I like try to say common sense, like, so what? You didn't just see me win? Like, he left on the top. No, you're just salty. You mad because you lost. You whining like a bitch. All right, bitch, you got me, bro. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, that's all you can say.
If that's your logic, like, what am I supposed to say to that? If you gonna just say something dumb, I gotta just hold that then. Because you acting like you didn't just see me kill him first before he beat me and teabagged me and left tied 1-1. But it is what it is. I just use them clips to my advantage now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and what's funny, it's kind of frustrating because Facebook has been proven at this point, I guess, to take content that gets negative reactions and push it.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yes.
Because human nature is we are attracted to negativity. Whether that be because we were hunters and gatherers, and if it's negative, we got to handle it so it doesn't take out our people. Whatever it is that makes us act that way. And I try to stay against that current. You know, I try to keep it positive. I don't get on here and bellyache about things going on in my life. I don't scream and yell at the microphone and throw my controller and break it and break my monitors midstream. I don't hit my desk and knock stuff over into my keyboard. I don't do that kind of stuff. And sometimes I feel like those of us who act like that are at a disadvantage sometimes. So how do you feel like you would that you do combat that?
I mean, lately now I just kind of like I just focus on kicking it. Like even today, like today in Kombat League, I went 4-3. I'm used to doing better than that, but I went 4-3. But I was just chilling, like, because it gets to a point where it's just like everybody knows you're pretty good at this point, so you don't really got nothing to prove. And then it's like I never set out to be like the best player. I was just trying to make some cool shit, and somewhere along the line, I just played enough good people while I start becoming good myself. But like I don't really get wrapped up. I'm never going to be the best player, and even people talking shit to you, they're not going to be the best player, so it's pointless. But it is funny because I did read that too. What you said about the that research that social media, and this is not like a coincidence. This is very intentional. They tend to push negative things because people get more of a passionate response to that, which in turn is more engagement. So now that I learned those things, I just use them to my advantage. Like that clip, even though that some people were like trying to clown me because of like what I said about the 1-1 tie, I said the day I put that clip out, this feels like 500,000 because it did 10,000 in the first hour, and I knew why. I was like, oh, it's a negative-ish video, or it has like a negative component that's going to take off because people want to say something angry to you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you might think that you like trolling me and talking shit to me, but you don't realize your negative comment is helping my engagement just as much as the positive comment.
Yeah,
It seems
100%.
today TikTok just tracking the activity. So it's like as long as you keep saying, like, I had a dude that sent me 30, literally 30 plus negative comments and was trying to
Jesus.
tell me, like, he told me nobody knows who you are, you fucking trash, you just butt hurt because you lost. Like bro, he was like dissing me completely, but I'm laughing like, fam, for every comment, you're literally helping the video.
Yeah.
What is what I want you to do? And it's like, I see you making gaming content, I see you got 100 followers, and I see you telling me my content trash. But if I got 30,000 and you only got 100, you know what I'm saying? Let's call a spade, bro. Like, you know what time it really is. So it is what it is. I just try to use it to my advantage. But yeah, like it took a minute to get to that point because when I first started, that shit didn't feel that way for sure. But as things grown, I'm like, these people are never going to leave. And it's probably like some fucking 15-year-old in his mom's basement. The only reason that one guy caught my attention is because like on his gaming clips, he was a bald-headed man our age. So that's why it blew my mind because it was like, how you an old ass man hating?
It's because
We too old for that, bro.
he lost his hair early. He's upset, bro.
That's what it was.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what it was. I got some grades, but I got a head full of dreads.
You know what I
Some
mean?
grades.
I
They
I
still
tell
here, bro.
my pastor growing up used to say when he started getting gray hair, he said, I earned that. That's wisdom growing in. So I wear mine
I
to
feel
this
it.
day. That's my wisdom growing in. Where I tell my kids, it's your fault it's there. Why are you giving me shit for having gray hair? It's your fault.
I got a bunch of them, but I'm gonna hold them because I got some friends who ain't thinning out, and that shit like a rough story. So I'm
Ooh,
gonna
man.
hold you grades.
Yep.
Fire God. I'm just gonna be Fire God Lou. That's all I'm gonna be. Fire God.
Yeah.
For my hair turn.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah. That's one thing that I struggle with the content creation stuff is because I don't allow the negativity in my stream. And the reason I
Mm-hmm.
don't is pretty simple. This is a story I don't think I've shared ever. Early on in my streaming, I think I'd probably been streaming about 8 months. I
Mm-hmm.
had a guy inbox me. He said, "Hey, I really appreciate your streams. You didn't know it, but I'm laying in a hospital bed right now. I've been sick for months. I don't know if I'm going to get any better, but watching your
Mm-hmm.
stream today put the first smile on my face that I've had in months." And that, like, telling the story gives me goosebumps. Like, it changed who I was as a streamer because I realized that I have power. When I'm in front of this microphone, when I'm in front of this camera, I'm running a stream. It's never, that story never leaves me. I always, I've had a couple others that aren't as memorable as that one. People say, you
Mm-hmm.
brought me out of something, or, I'm going through some things. Thank you. But that one
Yeah.
always stuck out. One, because it was the first time it had ever happened. And it was the first time I came to the realization that I have the power to affect somebody's day. Somebody is trusting me with that portion of the day because they feel like I can give them a grin, give them a laugh, have them enjoy themselves. For some people, the only portion of their day that they got any enjoyment whatsoever out of was my stream. So I don't allow negativity in my chat for that reason, because what if that person's laying in a hospital bed, their mama's laying in a hospital bed, and they just need to be entertained and forget about the world for a minute. I can't let some bozo in chat mess that up for that moment that me and that viewer are having. Whether I know I'm having that moment with the viewer or not, I can't allow it. So I fear creating that kind of content on TikTok or wherever, because at the end of the day, that's a funnel to my streams.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you're trying to do by putting your content out everywhere. So my fear is that Joe Schmo that's got something to say to me on TikTok, and I'm going back and forth talking about his receding hairline, and he's talking about how I can't neutral duck, and I'm asking him why girls have never kissed him. Like, if we're going back and forth like that,
Yeah, we talking shit, yeah.
and then he comes to my stream like, "Oh, you was talking good shit a minute ago. Now look at you with your big ass eyebrows." And now we're doing that versus me trying to have a meaningful experience with somebody else that may need it, you know? So
See, see, it's funny that you say that because like when you had that first experience with that person telling you that, like in regards to the hospital shit, was that mind blowing? Like legitimately, that's something that you could have never even imagined hearing because you thinking like I'm just playing video games and kicking it.
exactly. Exactly. Like I had no back then was early enough where like streaming was still solely for me. I needed
Mm-hmm.
something to do because I was out of work. I still had a job and everything, but we were working 10 days off and 5 days on. I mean, the hours were
Yeah.
cut dramatically. And I am not the kind of guy to just sit still. I need something. I have to have something or I'm going to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was fighting before, but now I'm old and I can't do that shit no more. So, I
Mm-hmm.
needed something new. And so this was it for me. So really, it was an outlet for me to play video games and be social because I couldn't be social. I couldn't go to the bar. We had COVID going on. You know what I mean? I couldn't go to the
Yeah.
bar. I couldn't do any of that. So I couldn't go play pool, couldn't go bowling, nothing. So I needed an outlet. This was my outlet. And it was in that moment that it all changed. Like, no, this isn't for you. This is for somebody
Yeah.
else right now.
Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes because it's like I'll say like for instance like the weirdest thing for me to get I want to say weird now. I guess I would say the most abnormal thing that it took for me to get used to when I was first making content was men inboxing me. Just because like Facebook has been around much longer than Facebook gaming has, right? So you would I mean obviously you married, but it's like somebody that was in my position of like being a bachelor and shit. Like I would mostly talk to the homies or whatever, like talk to the homies in the text, talk to the homies on the comments. But then it's like you may have like your more personal conversations with like women and things like that in your inbox.
Yeah.
So it's like as the channel and stuff started to kind of stabilize itself, and I started getting associated with this group or that group and talking to guys, kicking it, etc. Like guys would inbox me. Just sometimes it'd be about game and stuff. Sometimes it'd be what's up. I used to initially really struggle with that because that's just not how my personality is wired to be. Then like once I got used to that, it would go from those type of things to like somebody could be having like an off day about some shit and they'll tell me something personal.
Yeah.
And it took me like kind of a minute to like get used to that because in my mind it's kind of like, well, if I'm having a good day, not like on a selfish tip, but it's more like I'm not really a person that comes to people with bad news.
Yeah.
So I don't really like for people to come to me with bad news because it's like if my energy high, I don't want you to like suck that energy out of me or some shit like that. So it'd be that, and then the other half would be kind of what you said about going back and forth with somebody if they talking crazy. On one hand, it could be like fun in that moment because you feel like you let them know what time it was, but on the flip side, it's like, well, damn, if I'm trying to like get a job in this area and they want to see like what my content represents as far as like what community I'm building or what my numbers are looking like. If they bump into that, I just misrepresented myself in that one moment, even though I got 1,000 other positive interactions over here. So like I struggle with those things sometimes too. Like granted, since I'm working in the media field and like YouTube and content creation field, my jobs are always tied and said, well, hey, let us see your LinkedIn, let us see your YouTube, let us see your. So if it's like if you come in there and I got a whole bunch of views, but it's because I'm going back and forth with somebody in the comments, that's a bad look on me potentially missing out on an opportunity that may have got me some extra bread because I played myself. So
100%.
like those things do be like legitimate struggles, and you don't ever think about none of that when you first fire up the whole thing because it's like, bro, you thinking I'm just playing games. Then you realize like this shit get pretty deep, especially if you start getting a little bit of numbers behind you.
Yeah, and there's money out there.
It's yeah.
I didn't realize how like when I started doing this, it was never a money thing for me. I never started this with the idea of getting rich, getting a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
money coming into the house. That was not my intention. And then when it started happening, that was another thing that happened with streaming that it was mind blowing. The first night that I looked at my stars and it was over 1,000 for a night, I was like, but what? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that we got a for show raid. How you feeling, my for show viewers? What were we doing tonight? I appreciate the raid. So this streaming thing, it's taken some turns, and sometimes as the drivers of our ships, we got to pump the brakes a little bit. And you also have to be careful not to get taken advantage of, and there's so many things going on. And how have you been approached? You don't have to say any names or anything. Have you been approached by companies that are like, "Hey, we want to sponsor you with A, B, and C,
Yeah,
and then you just have to do D, E, and F for us"? And
yeah.
what were your feelings when that happened?
So it's funny because I take this same approach when it comes to like competitive gaming teams too. But like I've definitely I like kind of what we said about Harris Heller. So I try to like use him as a resource of information about what certain language should look like, what processes that you should take to make sure that you covered. I have had a few things come around my direction. I kind of try to like research them and see what they're about. But ultimately, like if it don't coincide with anything that I represent, I don't mess with it because I don't want to like taint my own credibility.
Yeah.
And then the other half is like if it was something I would use, it would have to be like, let's say, for instance, that Elgato came to me with some type of, I don't know, pitch of some type of sponsorship. And maybe like the benefits weren't super large on my end, but there were some benefits. Maybe it's like free equipment, certain things being shipped out. I might consider that because I use a lot of Elgato products. You know what I'm saying? The mic I'm talking on right now is the Elgato Wave 3. So like I can swear by that. And then secondly, like it's something that I would actually care to use. Now, if it's something like, I don't know, men's hair growth. I don't have any hair issues, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna use that because if I did do it, while it could be useful to some other people, they would just like that I'm kind of like just in it trying to like get money off bullshit, and like I don't feel comfortable with that type of stuff. So yeah, it is that. And then kind of the thing is, even like when we talk like competitive gaming or like gaming teams, a lot of people be like, "Yo, bro, why don't you join this team? Or you should get down with us." And I'm cool with all these people. I ain't got no issues with them, but it's like I just kind of like that ability to move free. So it's like I don't really try to tie myself to anything that I'm not sure that I'm like 100% comfortable with because that's just not how I am. I'm not going to use somebody else's name to try to build my own. I'd rather try to work off my own merit. So when it comes to sponsorships and stuff like that, it's definitely got to be something that like that aligns with like with what I'm on, and then like the language of everything has to be clear as far as terms go. Otherwise, I'll just bypass it.
Yeah, for sure. What up, Nerve Rossi? Come here and hang out with us. That's the big homie right there. Um, yeah, I've had a couple of folks come out to me, and I've noticed that a lot of them seem kind of scammy. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them seem scammy. And for me, I'm one of those people, man. If my gut bubbles twice, we're out of there. I don't
Yeah.
I don't mess around. When the first opportunity, people will tell you in my personal life, the first moment I get an idea of some squirrely shit, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not. I don't have time for that. I'm always straight up, front and center with you. Fearless will tell you. I've inboxed him before. Hey, bro, what's up with this? I'll always do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up? Nerf Rossi tell you the same thing. I had a conversation with Nerf Rossi. I think it was about a month ago. I called him. Hey, look, I'm about to do this, and I just want to make sure we're good. I want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that we're straight. That you understand that this is not sideways. A, B, and C is what I'm doing. Are we straight? Because it's important to me that when I say something to you, you take that as gospel because I would never do anything crazy. So when somebody starts acting
Yeah.
crazy, I'm going to treat you accordingly. We're done. We're done.
No,
Yeah.
I feel you in it. I'm on that same thing. That's my same energy. Just kind of like it just makes your day less stressful to like be involved in like nonsense and dumb shit. Especially like if your credibility is being put on the line. Because you know how this community is. Like as we said earlier about like the whole negative aspect, like negativity spreads fast. So if it's something that your name gets pushed next to and it's concretely negative and it's provable, I mean you hurt yourself. And you
Sometimes
don't
it
know
don't
how
even
long
need
that
to
shit
be
gonna.
provable. That's what hurts. Is you get around somebody that's doing A, B's, and C's, and then just because you're homies with them, you might as well be doing A, B's, and C's, even though you had no idea what was going on. And
Yeah,
they'll say,
yeah.
you know what? Nobody's messing with you anymore. And it's like, yo, I didn't even do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is no. Now that you say that, it don't even got to be provable. You are right because I remember I won't say no names, but like just not too long ago, I seen somebody accuse somebody else of something kind of egregious on Twitter, and they couldn't like prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like they couldn't prove it at all. And the person said what they said. A lot of people attacked back and said, "Hey, that's not true. This didn't happen." And then the person who initially said it was like they just faded off into the wind. Like
Yep.
no accountability, no about anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it kind of blew my mind because I'm just like in my mind, I was thinking like, did the person really believe that they did what they said and they misinterpreted, or was that intentional? And when it didn't work, you just don't gotta own it. The fact that you like spread that lie about somebody, they could
Yeah.
have really hurt like their credibility or their content, or because I mean, for some people, this is money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not making a ton of money from this stuff, but it's like if you shoot my credibility, you'll take a couple hundred to $1,000 some dollars out of my pocket. That's shit that I could use. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It gets squirrely when that happens too, because there are content creators out there that their entire platform is being the victim, and they're trying to hold me down, and A, B's, and C's are happening because this dude is doing that dude is doing this, and because a lot of people have never learned to look in the mirror and go, maybe my shit ain't good. Maybe my numbers are down because I'm not doing anything special. So that would be if a streamer's watching right now and you wanted one thing, you said, Manic Red told me this would make me successful in life and in streaming, it would be this. Always look in the mirror. Always look in the mirror and go, how can I be better? What did I do wrong? And how can I fix it? My mods constantly have to keep me on track, because I will end a stream and I will go to my mods and say, hey, this happened. Was I right? Or was that wild? And me and my mods have a very open relationship where, like, several times I've been, Manic, that was stupid. Don't do that. And it is as raw as it can be in that mod chat. And I expect it that way. And I tell everybody that wants to be a mod for me, I tell them, I say, look, there's no hurt feelings in this chat. If you're being an asshole, I'm going to tell you being an asshole. But by doing that, I expect you to do that to me, because I need that honesty. I don't need fanboys in my mod chat. I need somebody to say, Manic, you were out of line, bro. That was too much. And it's happened. And I appreciate that so much, because it helps me to look in the mirror and make sure I'm keeping it straight up and down. Offline space is weird. Bro, so many weirdos be hypercritical of your own work. Oh, 100%. Dude, I look at my stuff sometimes and I'm like, what are you doing? That is terrible content. What are you got to do that. And that's another thing we were talking about when somebody steals from you, when the bigger streamers do that, when the smaller streamers do that, when anybody's doing that, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, you could be mad about this, and you'd be righteous in being mad about it. You're right. It's an asshole move. But are you going to let it stagnate your growth? Or are you going to cut the corner, cut the end route, catch the football, and go into the secondary? Which one are you going to do? Are you going to quit? Or are you going to figure out a new avenue and go make it happen? Because over and over again with my channel, I've had to do that. Not always with success, but I've always had to look in the mirror and go, hey, this. Like I said, my channel was PG for a long time, up until very recently. And I've had a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot, I've had 5 or 6 people over the last 8 months or so, however long it's been, message me and say, Red, I can't stand your content now. You used to be so wholesome. You used to be family friendly. You weren't cussing. You weren't, I could do this, you could do that, and that's what I liked. And now you're cussing, and I can't hardly watch your streams. Or I like to cut your streams on when I'm at work, and now I can't because you're cussing.
Yeah.
So, and when I get those messages, I take them on board, and I go to my mod and say, hey, what do y'all think? And they'll tell me, look, Manic, they're wrong. The content's better. Keep it going. But at the same time, we're talking about sponsorships. I also understand that there are sponsorships I may miss out on in the future, because I do go off the mouth sometimes. I do let a couple cuss words fly. But at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. Yeah. And I cuss, baby. I was in the Navy for 9 years. Your boy cusses.
Yeah. I feel you on that too, because when I was kind of asking like about like relating to like your viewership or stuff like that. I think this is probably like going back to things about when I was like upbringing or whatever. So like I was always kind of the kid that was like an athlete in school. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always like athlete, like always kind of popular. Like that was my experience per se. You know what I'm saying? I know for some gamers that's not really like the norm or like what they've been through, and so it'll be like sometimes certain conversations that we end up in stream or certain things people would inbox me, it just didn't like align with how like I lived my life or whatever per se. Yeah. So I couldn't really see it, but then it's like an open-minded thing where like you don't want to alienate nobody because it's like their experience might not be yours. So it's kind of like speaking to people about relating to certain things while at the same time like, well, I have to be me, you know what I'm saying? So like the idea of me never cursing because I won't like sponsorships or things like that. It's like, okay, I won't be vulgar, but I'm not going to sit here and act like that I haven't, my quote unquote experience hasn't been like the cool kid and like the cool crowd that like kind of like does the cool shit. And not to say that because that shit sound like generic and corny, but just more so saying like I can't be Mr. Super duper marketable because that's just not who I am as a person.
Exactly.
I'm not vulgar, like I'm not vulgar and offensive, but at the same time, I'm just not Mr. Clean Cut streamer or content creator. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm trying to find that balance, but I'm never going to be like, uh, I don't want to use this to like be funny, but like Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? How he's like clean cut in that aspect. That and that's talented. I respect it, but I don't have that capability. That's just not who I am naturally as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what the conversation with the mods and everybody when we made the decision to get rid of the PG thing was that very discussion was I'm doing this, and initially the reason I did it was because I was a part of this group of streamers. There's like 5 or 6 of us who were all starting streaming at the same time, and their rule for being a part of the group, the affiliation or however you want to say it, was to be family friendly. So that's why I was doing it. It had nothing to do with me, nothing to do with my content. It had more to do with the affiliation with a longtime friend of mine from high school. We used to be roommates and everything. So out of respect for him, I did it. We'll stay family friendly. And I got a lot of love for doing it. And I got a lot of hate for doing it too. People used to come in my chat, well, inbox me whenever you decide to start talking like a man. Whenever you grow up, buddy, I'll come hang out in your chat. You know, and then it got to the point where I didn't feel like the MK11 stuff could go any further with me substituting cuss words and acting like a corny shill when that's not who I am, man, you know? And it was coming across. It was coming across as me being, what's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't being honest. I wasn't being true. I was trying to be something I'm not. And when I let go of that and just started being who I am, I think the content took off because of it, because it was coming across. It was obvious. You know what I mean? That I wasn't being me. I was being somebody that somebody else wanted me to be.
And sponsorship wise, if you were, let's say that you like had an amazing opportunity where you had to like not be yourself in order to maintain that opportunity, versus maybe you got a sponsorship that let's say was, I don't know, $20,000. Let's say that you got like a deal that required you to be somebody you wasn't for 50,000, and then you got one that you could be yourself for 20,000. Which one is more sustainable, even if the other one brings more profit? Because if it's like if you damn near feeling psychotic at the end of all your streams because you know you're not being yourself or you slipping up and the real person is coming out, how can you maintain that anyway? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thing is like even like if you really look at big business, it's not even necessarily about the presentation of who you are. It's about the numbers and the traffic, because you got some people that like live vulgar as hell online and they got huge following.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so granted, they might have had that following doing something else and then moved into a content creation space. So that kind of like brought its own fan base. But at the end of the day, like if it ain't sustainable, you're not gonna be able to do it no way. Yeah, I mean, some people can, but that's kind of a hard life to live because you start like kind of having battles within your damn soul about who am I? And we playing a fighting game where people get their heads cut off. How does it look to be PG like commentary when you're playing a game that's blood and guts all day?
And that was the criticism I kept getting was, one, the characters are cussing in the game. They drop F-bombs and you know, all kind of language, and they're cutting people's heads off. And that was the thing was, how are you playing a rated M game with this much violence, but you don't cuss? Like what sense does that make, Red? You know? And at the end of the day, they were right. They're right. And I wasn't being who I am. So I could come up here and be in my skin and just hang out with chat. And I think that comes across. And I would hope that's why people hang out with me.
So what would you say is the most of, I know you said that some people sent some stuff in for Twitter that was like certain questions that you wanted to make sure that you elaborated on because they were important.
Yeah.
What do you think of the selection that you have over there? What is probably the most useful or substantial question that you have in the list as far as something that you feel like a streamer would need to know? What question would that be based on what was sent in to you?
Well, being that I'm just now getting live on Twitter, those two were the two questions that I got on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we kind of covered what I had on Twitter, just based off of me growing that thing. So if you're watching, you're not following on Twitter, what are you doing, baby? Go get over there. We're live on the Twitter, man. The Manic Red. Go follow us over there. So that's something that I'm really focusing on getting going. I've already had some opportunities come my way because of that. I was telling you about one right before the podcast. That gentleman is inboxing me right now, so I need to get back to him. But the world's on Twitter, man. So these game developers, these clans, all these people are on there, you know. So I'm hoping to be able to use that to push the content a little bit further. When you were saying earlier, you don't have to be live to engage your viewership. Have you seen what you're doing with your offline well, not your offline activities, but when you're not live activities, have you seen that grow your viewership?
It does. It does. So it's like, and I mean, I remember getting this from Harris too. Like a prime example would be, so coincidentally, like when I had a conversation with the homie GSG Monkey Gaming last year, because I was on Twitch, I was on Twitch and Mixer, and I was streaming on Twitch. But you know, like Mortal Kombat 11 is like a AAA title, so it's just hard to get to the top on Twitch because they don't really do anything to help for like creator growth.
Yeah.
So I was considering making a Facebook gaming page, right? So I made one, and I decided to make one last April. Maybe it was 2020 April, yeah, because it's early 2022. So yeah, it was like 2020 April that I made one, right? And so ironically, because I made one, I decided to do a tutorial about how to set up a Facebook gaming page because it was a fairly tedious process getting everything in order. Coincidentally, I made that video, put it on YouTube. A week later is when Mixer happened to shut down because Facebook bought them out.
Yeah.
So now all those people who were on Mixer needed to figure out how to make a Facebook gaming page because nobody knew how to do it. And I just happened to make the video a week before. It's got like 40,000 views. And I saw that directly translate to the Mortal Kombat 11 content. And it was just like purely coincidental. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as far as being live, like being live does work because you get to like have interaction with people and have like a reaction to them. But if you have some type of content where they can have access to you outside of you being live, it definitely helps your growth and vice versa. I think this is this is what I think it is. I think making content gives people the ability to have access to you, like when you're not live, but then being live lets them know that you're not being phony. So it's like if I'm uploading Mortal Kombat 11 videos on my YouTube channel, which I do often, and I'm winning a majority of the matches, but I never stream, is like, oh, you only upload when you win.
When you win.
But it's like if you see me stream and I go 5-2, then you know, like, oh, he just wins a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I think they kind of help each other. You know what I'm saying? Overall, like I think my last two streams, I think I won 15 matches in a row on stream. So it kind of helps. Like it gives the content a little more credibility, and then the content gives people access when you aren't live. So it kind of helps you both ways. What I think personally.
Yeah.
But some people don't like making videos. Some people just like to play the game. So if you just like to play the game, then I would say to just stick to streaming. I just happen to like making shit, and I just like gaming at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you see somebody like Fearless that, man, my man is winning, but he's doing it by just virtue of being live. And I do think that is, I've seen it in my numbers since I've cut my stream schedule. I mean, I cut my stream schedule down to a third, I think. I mean, I've went from, I was doing 14 streams a week down to 3, sometimes 4. So I've definitely seen that affect my viewership. But at the end of the day, man, I'm having fun and I'm doing my thing. Man, I had
that's
a question.
all that matters.
Man, I had a question a second ago and I thought, Manic, write it down because you keep forgetting that thing. I keep wanting to ask you about it and I keep forgetting what it is.
No, but speaking of what you said about Phyllis, though, that's one thing I noticed about him. Like, I would check out some of his streams before we really got familiar with each other, and it would be like, bro, he'd be going hard like 5 or 6 hours, and I'm like, so, like I said, how I like to make videos and give the accessibility when I'm not on. For other people, the value could be like his viewership, his fan base, his community. They feel 100% tied to him because like they get to speak to him a large portion of the day. There's value in that. So even in his scenario. Granted, he plays a lot of Mortal Kombat 11, and he's very loyal to his character as far as playing Liu Kang. All the value is in him. So whenever the next game comes out, whether that be Mortal Kombat 11, whatever else he moves to, the value is placed on him and it's not in the game because they're used to talking to him 5-6 hours at a time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's really no right or wrong way. It's just kind of your way. and then like looking at the numbers and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? I'm the type of person, I just have a social battery that only goes so far. While I said I was popular while I was younger, I am the same person. Like, I don't like to make plans. I don't like obligations. Like, even when you and me said this and I said Tuesday, I was like, it's easier when it's like, okay, we're gonna do it at this time. But as far as the idea of I have to be on talking to people for so long, I'm just not like that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I do the videos. But like, so other people, their community is engaging with them all the time, and that's where they values it. So it's no wrong or right way. It's just your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've watched streamers on this platform that I'm going to try not to do what I did last time we got on this topic. There are streamers on this platform that go live, they're nowhere to be found, and it's just a replay of videos, a replay of old content, somebody else's content. Was that?
I've heard about this. How is this possible? I think I've heard you say this before.
Yeah.
Or heard somebody. I think I've seen Phyllis speak on this before too. Like, people are putting up like edited videos and acting like they're live streams.
Yeah. Well, not even that. There's this one person that literally had they had a cartoon playing. They played a cartoon. But I mean, this went on for a freaking month and a half. They went live, they tagged Mortal Kombat, and they played the cartoon. Nobody's entertaining anybody in chat. But by virtue of being live as long as they were getting an algorithm push. And I would watch my streams, be it 10 or 15, and I'm in here. I'm putting it all on the line. And I'm watching, I've got a ticker over here. I went over and looked at it one day. I was just watching. These people are not being sent notifications, but are being sent notifications for this channel is just playing a cartoon. They're playing somebody else's content off of YouTube. They're playing, and they've just got it queued up and they're playing it. And I cannot understand why the platform allows it. But then you have somebody like Fearless that goes live for so long and they're actually playing the game. And to watch him win and these other channels, I'm going to say these other channels because I've seen other people do it too. I'm not trying to call out one person. There's one person that comes to mind, but I've seen it on other people's channels, and I made a post about it too. When I go live, it's my face. I'm here with you. I'm dedicating my time to you. So if you're somebody who's aspiring to be a content creator, look, just do it the right way, because everybody sees it. Everybody knows what the hard work looks like. Look, we don't have to sit here talking about Fearless all night, but Fearless has been a workhorse on this platform. I've got a lot of respect for what he's done. That's why I keep bringing him up and shouting him out. He's shout out Fearless. My man's on the Merciless Redhead team now too. Let's go.
So when they would so basically you're saying they would play a Mortal Kombat 11 story, and because they're playing it constantly, they're getting the algorithm push, and like that could transfer to their traffic being positive. I wonder how do you get stars and stuff with shit like that. I don't even know that people would even like watch. Like, that's it. Just I guess I'm trying to see like what the upside is to it, but I don't see what the logical upside would be if you're not live, because you can't like engage and get like stars and likes and things of that nature. Like, if you got a video just playing, I can just go watch that shit on YouTube.
And I think it's weird because you get a push. You get a push when you first go live. You get a push 30 minutes in, and then you get a push on the hour every hour.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why whenever you hit 30 minutes, you'll see a little bit of viewership. And what they're doing is when you go live, they look at, okay, well, we sent this live notification to 1,400 people, which fucking never happens, but just a number. Only 10% clicked it. Okay, maybe that content's not as valuable as we thought. But if 50% click it, that each percentage that goes up, apparently, that's what the streets have told me, that you get your next algorithm push is based on how the last one went. So whenever you've got somebody who's live for 8 hours, they've had 9 or 10 algorithm pushes?
Yeah.
You know?
So the idea is to try to like keep you on the platform longer to kind of ramp up, so to speak, because of like the time the algorithm pushes. And I was wondering how that works, and I heard about somebody tell me about a watch party, because I think like 2 days ago I went live, right? And I went live, and like I've never seen this before, I've never seen it since. But I went live, and within probably 2 minutes, I had 200 viewers. I don't know how. I don't know. Like I don't know what happened. And like I didn't even notice it. I was playing the game. Somebody in chat typed it. It was like, "Bro, look at all these people here." And I looked up and I saw 200, and I was like, I don't know. And it was the middle of the day.
Yeah.
What's today? Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So that was like Sunday, bro. Like it was just 200 something. I don't know where they came from. And I mean, it slowly dwindled down over time, but like it was 200 something people, and I don't know how like they came, unless that the game sent like all of my followers notifications, because I have enough for that to happen. But I'm sure that 200 of my followers went on at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like that number was insane, bro. I don't know where they came from, what they did. I tried to find it in analytics, but like it didn't point anything out that looked unusual.
You did
outside of the
did you
stuff.
look at geographical information on the viewership?
I might have to go back and do that. I might have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, because remember I was telling you one time that happened to me, and it was the Philippines. I blew up in the Philippines for whatever reason. That one single night, I blew up in the Philippines. I've never seen an algorithm push like that before in my life. And other times I had a Sunday morning blow up one time, and I was at like 170 something viewers the whole time. And it was weird because at the time I was like 15, 16, 17 viewer channel. And one random Sunday morning, I blew up to over 200. And what ended up happening was I caught Facebook during an algorithm update. And there was some type of glitch in the matrix that got me an algorithm push that day. And then they put me in the penalty box for like 2 months. But
that's wild. They should hold you for like you manufactured it or some shit like that.
And there's also people on this platform who go over and they buy viewership too. So they have the bot viewership, which initially is what I thought happened to my channel when I had the 4,000. Because there was some fishy stuff that happened in my inbox right after that too. But yeah, I don't know, man. This algorithm thing that we deal with on Facebook is, she's an angry lady sometimes. You live and die by the algorithm.
Yeah, true, but I'll definitely say, like, in comparison to Twitch, not so. I guess I didn't get enough time with Mixer by the time Mortal Kombat 11 came out, because it shut down like about a year afterward. But as far as this platform goes, and a lot of people ask me this, I mean, granted, I have other interest in it because I like to put content on the side, and I got my store attached to my page and things like that.
Yeah. But
I think for the most part, this platform does the best job of giving smaller creators a chance to kind of move upward. Where Twitch is like, there's a list, but if 1,000 people are playing Mortal Kombat, and I got the smallest following, you're not even finna see, you're not even gonna get a possibility to click me. Or like even like when Mixer had what they called the hype zone, where if you get like the bottom 3 teams of Apex, then they put you like on the main page. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which was dope, but then like you feel like shit if you don't win in front of all those people because like you choked it out. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Facebook does a pretty decent job of giving smaller content creators a chance to grow, because sometimes like some numbers are low, sometimes the numbers are high, but for the most part, I feel like my page is always going in the upward direction. It's just a matter of how fast some days versus others,
Yeah, Facebook has got a lot of goods, a lot of bads. I think it's a good platform, but I feel like Facebook is still trying to play catch up, and I don't really fully understand why we're playing catch up still. I mean, I've been on the platform for a couple years now, and there's just so many things that could be better that they just haven't figured out yet. And I don't know if it's because Facebook is just this huge conglomerate and I don't know why there are certain things that they're allowing other companies to catch up to them on. I still think YouTube is, out of the ones that I stream to, I think YouTube has got to be the worst. YouTube has no discoverability. They've got an algorithm. They've got it. But I literally, when we were getting ready for this stream, I went to YouTube and I said, I'm going to pull up, because my idea was I'll pull up and we'll look at streams and see what people are doing. That didn't happen. We ended up just talking to gang shit the whole time, which is fine. But I went on YouTube like, all right, I'm going to see how many MK11 streamers. I couldn't find it. I was actively looking for it and could not find a page with MK11 live streams on it. So that I don't know what they're doing over there either. Twitch Twitch has done such a great job of the full-on integration with chat, with chat points, with all of this stuff. And I just don't understand why Facebook hasn't just bastardized that stuff and brought it over. Stars are great. I like stars. We now have raids, which the raids are finicky for some reason.
Yeah, they are.
So finicky. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Most times it only sends a few over. You know, it's wild. But yeah,
It doesn't even notify all the time either. It doesn't even notify the streamer when they got the raid. You know what I'm saying?
I've never been notified of a raid. That we got that raid a minute ago. Nothing's over here saying I got raided, other than people.
Yeah,
in chat.
whenever I rate, I always tell somebody that I rated, and I hope that it came through because I don't know. And like they'll even tell me like sometimes I'll like send one, and then after their streams over there, reach out, hey bro, thanks for the raid. I didn't know that you sent it, and I'm like, like the way I got my alert set up, which I'm sure you do too. When I get a raid, I'm supposed to have something pop on screen that basically says I'm being hosted. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Twitch would have.
Yeah, and it works like half the time maybe.
Yeah, because my thing like when it comes to Twitch is my I got 2 or 3 things for Twitch, and I think Facebook and YouTube can be better at this because they got the infrastructure, they got the money to do it. I just feel like so when it comes to Twitch, they do like a great job with everything alert wise and integration wise as far as like when you're actually live. They don't have anything as far as a great archive system or like a view on demand system. So like that's where they struggle at. And I think they like being dinosaurs as far as not implementing that. Then on the flip side, you got Facebook and Twitch, or not Facebook and YouTube. And I think the only reason that Facebook disappoints me in this aspect is because I felt like Mixer was pretty good, and Mixer had a nice amount of tools. They had co-streaming, which Facebook just implemented like a few months ago, but they had co-streaming, and on their co-stream, when like let's say somebody was watching you, like what we're doing right now, they could split the screen and see us both in one place versus having to pick your stream versus mine, and we both would get the notification. I don't know why Facebook doesn't have that. Another thing, I don't know why Facebook doesn't have the hype zone. Like those are the main 2 things, and then on top of that, Mixer's bandwidth was pretty good. I know that Facebook got way more users because they in the billions, but stream stability sometimes can be very questionable. And I got fiber optics at the crib, and even sometimes I have some funny stuff, and I be thinking it's on my end when really it's just Facebook itself.
Yeah,
I don't really understand those 3 things, and they got the money and technology, but they should be able to just bang those out. But I think that when it comes to Facebook, it's still a technology company trying to create a gaming avenue versus gamers using technology, which is more what Twitch feels like.
Yeah, and I don't understand because you're really telling me that you can't get some guys in there that can guide these teams. You know, so they've got some very big streamers on this platform.
Yeah,
and they can be fixed, and I keep holding out hope that they're gonna fix it. I don't know. I think the customer service is deplorable. Facebook, if you're listening, damn that damn support is trash, baby. Y'all got to fix that. It's too easy to lose your channel. It's too easy. And I almost left the platform altogether when I had all that happen with my page. I almost quit altogether with it. My man said this morning I had a slow stream. Started with 1K viewers after 3 hours. Then I went live later in the day. Ended up with 10K viewers. Facebook algorithm's wild. That's why they say the loyalty and finding a community. That's why I say you're a legend, Red. You got a community. Yeah, man, these people are crazy. They watch me. I don't know why they pick me, but I'm glad they do, and I love all y'all for doing it. Facebook's been kind of weird in all aspects lately. Content won't appear on my regular page. That's the other thing that drives me bananas about this damn Facebook is I can look at how many people have said I want notifications. I can see it. 40-something% of the people that follow my page, I've got almost 4,000 now. Almost 40% of them say, notify me when Manic Ray goes live. And it doesn't. I'll look at the push that, because you can look at what kind of push you got. Nowhere even close to that number. I'll sit around a 500 person push, and it's like, why would you only push it to 500 when almost 1,500 have said they want to see the content?
Yeah. I wonder is that a platform user thing? Because that's why I wonder sometimes if it's just so many users on the platform. But even if that's the case, it's kind of like, well, you guys wanted to be in this avenue, so like do it correctly. Because definitely all those things are like legit complaints, you know what I'm saying, that I've seen where somebody be like, hey bro, have you been going live lately? I'm like, bro, I was just live 2 hours ago. Damn, I didn't even see it. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. You know, I'm like, you got your bell on, you got the bell notification. Like, yeah, I got it on. So it's like at that point we just kind of to like the mercy of the like the algorithm or whatever, like the technology, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't make sense. And if you reach out to message somebody, like I was really surprised when the person, a Facebook agent, really helped me set up my store, and I was on with him for like a good hour. I was surprised I got that much response because
Never got that
usually you
kind of
never hear.
response.
And even like when you were saying the thing about losing your page, have you and something we probably should like warn other streamers about, I'm sure they've seen is, have you got that fake page where it's like it'll say like Facebook reported your page for some type of
Oh
like
yeah,
foul activity,
yeah. They
but
stopped
then you go
messaging
to the
me.
page. Yeah, I block them every time. I block them every single time. I got it like 4 or 5 times. It's
Yeah.
like your page was reported for such and such. Then you go and it's like an empty page that looks Facebook official, but it's not. I block and hide it every single time.
Yeah.
It's happened like 4 times
And
in the
I've
past 5 months.
reported it to Facebook so many times, and it just does no good. They even come back to me and they're like, "Oh, we haven't found anything wrong with this." Like, y'all are letting these people fish on your platform, and you're doing nothing about it. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Man, we've been on for 2.5 hours. Can you believe that?
Yeah, definitely so. That's how good podcasting, good conversations go. I definitely appreciate it. It's kind of funny how like quick it went by because I'm looking at the clock and it really is 9:30 when we started at 7.
Yeah.
Hopefully
man.
people were able to take away from it, especially like aspiring streamers who, want to get into streaming, not just Mortal Kombat 11 streaming, but just streaming in general. Like hopefully they was able to find some type of a nugget that they could use, even if it was something really, really small or really, really big.
Yeah.
Hopefully they found something of use.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's the question. Last question I'm gonna ask you. God, I'm so glad I remember this before we got off. You and I both watch Nutty. We watch Harris Heller. We watch them because they're good at what they do. One, they're successful and they've got these huge followings. So as somebody who has created tutorial videos, this is something I struggle with. So I want to get your thoughts on it. You are a smaller streamer, growing still, right? Do you feel any kind of way creating a how-to or a talking heads video such as this one about how to be successful as a streamer when you might not feel like necessarily you have become
The size to like kind of validate what you're saying?
Yeah, like who are
basically?
you to tell somebody else how to do it?
Yeah, so it's like it's funny because it's funny that you say that, and I've said this in a few of my tutorials. I actually use this to my advantage, and this is what I mean by that. So, like, what did I put? I think I made a video not too long ago that was like my first year as a content creator, and then I also did another one about how to deal with trolls, which is ironic because of the conversation we was having earlier. But basically, what I was saying in the video was like, I think that when I make a tutorial about these things, I actually think it's almost an advantage, you know what I'm saying, to make that type of content because it's like if like so for instance, you and me, like come from a generation where things aren't as easily given, so you gotta grind a little bit harder. Maybe this generation could be a little more pampered, so they get discouraged a little bit quicker. But that's not like we're older gamers, so we kind of remember what life was like before all this computer stuff, right? So I think that sometimes when somebody like goes to get a tutorial from like a Harris Heller or a Nutty or somebody like that, it's while we can take that information and use it to our advantage, there's definitely a group of people that's like, well, how would he know what I'm going through? He's already successful. He's already made it. He doesn't know what it feels like to be down here per se, right? So whenever I do my tutorials, the main reason, and I say this out loud in the video, I'll say the main reason why I think it's useful is because since the success of my channel isn't guaranteed, and I'm employing these different methods to try to move upward, and I'm seeing some positive reactions, some negative reactions, but reactions nonetheless. I think that it's easier for me to tell you how to kind of like climb or grow because my climb or grow is still actively happening. I haven't got to the point where I can take my foot off that pedal and just say, okay, we succeeded now. Like if I get, I don't know, 1 million subscribers, which pretty much never happens in like the fighting game community. At that point, I don't need to have any more conversations with myself about how to grow because I've already grown. But if I got 4,600 on YouTube like I do right now and 27,000 on TikTok, and I need the TikTok to grow to YouTube and vice versa, etc. I think it's a little more relatable for the person that maybe is starting because it's like, okay, he knows what this feels like because he didn't start, he just started 3 years ago. And it's like, and if you seen me start 3 years ago and you see the quality of my video from 2 years ago versus now, it's like you can kind of measure, okay, what he's doing is working so I can understand how to apply this. Versus if you starting at 0 and you taking advice from a person with 1 million, that's no different than us talking to a rich person that's a billionaire about how to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
It just feels so unobtainable because it's like, how did you do that? So like, if I was, this is like a terrible analogy. I hate even using this name, but if I had a conversation with Jay-Z about being a billionaire, what am I really going to take from that conversation? Because he understands things I can never wrap my mind around because he's seen things I haven't seen. But if I have a conversation with somebody about how to stack 10 G's, I can pull into that because that's obtainable because that's realistic in my mind versus my current position. So I think when it comes to like giving advice or like giving how-tos or tutorials, in my opinion, it's useful for the person that's starting out because it's like, okay, that's realistic. Versus like, oh, he just, because let's say the flip side of this, right? So have you seen content creators that have a ton of followers and it feels like I'm sure if you looked at Harris and you looked at Nutty, let's say I don't want to really say this person's name, but I kind of have to just for like reference purposes. Have you ever seen a Nick Nimmin video on growth?
No.
Okay, so Nick Nimmin gives out amazing information, right? But the thin line between his channel being so big and him giving out amazing information is sometimes it feels like if you make a video how to grow your YouTube channel, how to get 1,000 subscribers, how to get this many views, how to blah, 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 blah. If you put out 10 of those videos in a 3-week period, from somebody in my position, it starts to feel like, okay, he's just doing that for revenue. Because how different can the information be in a 3-week period? You know what I'm saying? How can you tell me how to get 1,000 subscribers and how to get 10,000 views and how to get more subscribers and grow my channel? How can there be that many different videos at once about the same thing? So now it's like you bullshitting me because you making money because everybody's gonna click because you're already well known, but you're not really giving valuable information. You just saying shit as like a filler.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, I don't know, man. I've struggled with that too because I am so technical with this stuff. And there are certain things that I have found there are no videos on. Some of the issues I've had with the platform and with OBS and ABs and Cs. And I've thought about, well, why don't I throw that stuff into a video and help somebody set up a channel from A to B to C to D.
Mm-hmm.
But I always stop myself and I'm like, dude, you're such a small fish in this pond. Why would somebody listen to what you're saying? Versus, especially when you're on the same YouTube platform as a Headers Heller, as a Nutty, and there's a couple others that I like to frequent as well. You know, like why would they watch you when they could watch somebody else? You know what I mean? Because I can't help myself and shout people like Harris Heller and Nutty out because almost everything that's been done on my channel has come from their videos. So I would have no choice but to shout them out in my videos as well. And then it looks like I'm name dropping. And why would I watch my video when I'm already telling you that I'd learned it from somebody else? You know what I mean? So maybe that's a me problem. You never feel any of that?
But see, this is where you flip it and finesse it because I actually just thought about this when you just said what you said. So how you were saying like about making a new tutorial, this is what I ran into, and this is how I knew about Harris Heller and Nutty and them. When I was trying to like get my channel on it, because I started researching my channel in 2018 summer. I didn't put out the first video and release it to like January 2019. So I was researching for a long time because I'm very anal about presentation, right? But I remember specifically when I was trying to figure out how to like do certain things, like how do I put this together? How do I put that together? All the tutorials are pretty much for PC users. So I remember like when it comes to carving out a lane for yourself, I'm like, well, shit, I got a Mac. So when I made my first tutorial, this one popped off, how to add overlays on Elgato in Mac because the program is different in PC. So when I put it up in Mac, what I noticed in the comments, a hell of people, hey, bro, I'm so glad somebody finally acknowledged the Mac. There's no information out here for the Mac. So it's like, you would think that you small, but it's like, no, just kind of take some of their information and flip it, but use it in a way that relates to you. And then on top of that, when it comes to presentation styles, because me and Harris could be saying the same thing, but somebody from my area might understand it better from me versus him who's saying it in a way that they just can't wrap their mind around. So it's always room for that. And then it's like, it's evergreen content because whatever you said in that video tutorial wise, it's never going to get old because whenever a new person starts the channel, they might bump into you and that information always going to be relevant. So I wouldn't really like second guess yourself on doing it. And as far as you being smaller, sometimes people seeing your journey, it helps them understand it a little bit more because they feel like it's realistic and attainable versus if I'm reading a tutorial of a guy who got 10 million followers. It's like, well, what do you know about my position? You ain't been down here in so long. You don't know what it feel like.
Yeah. That's solid. Well, my man, I appreciate you being here tonight. It's been a fire podcast. This is, I think this is the first podcast that we got to the 2.5 hour mark and we weren't like, cut it, we're out of here. I feel like we could probably do another 2.5 and sit here and just hang out, man. So I appreciate you being who you are, being a fire content creator. I look forward to watching your journey. It won't be long. You'll be passing your boy Manic Red up, and I look forward to that day, man. I'll be in your inbox congratulating you. Watching guys like you, Fearless, come up and bypass the old dude that does this part time is it is fun for me, especially when I could be a part of that growth. So I appreciate you, my man. I look forward to watching you on all of these platforms, and you keep up the hard work.
No, I appreciate you too, bro. And I definitely want to say this while like I'm on like your platform as far as speaking. Like the thing that's super dope is you've built your community, and we've linked up twice. And it's really, really dope that you like lend your community to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like people you could be bigger than, smaller than, whatever the case may be. Just like having that humility to reach out to people and say, hey, I got this dope idea. Would love for you to be a part of it. And then putting it together well, being organized, being professional. Like what you're doing over here is amazing, bro. And I'm just glad to be able to be a guest and come on and have a good time and be able to chat with you and just chop it up, my dog. So I really, really do appreciate that. And I want to make sure that your viewership know that as well, that it's other streamers that might not do that, but you are definitely somebody who reaches out and shows people love regardless of what your size is and helps out people who could be trying to come up and they can do it on your platform as well.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I deal with people. If I gel well with somebody like yourself, Nerf Rossi, I mean, I could sit down and talk to you and Nerf Rossi all night long because I feel like we just gel, you know?
Yeah.
So that's that. I don't even look at channel size. None of that stuff matters to me. If I can have a fire conversation, if I can have a fire time playing some Mortal Kombat, having a great time, like, that's what I'm going for. And some of these guys get big. I'm definitely not big. That's not what I'm saying. But some of these guys get big and they forget that, being the little guy is hard.
Yeah.
And I never want to be in a place where I forget to reach down, forget that I can reach up and reach across.
Mhm.
It's important to me that I create a community, not just in my chat, but with the other streamers in the community, because I feel like we're stronger if we're together, if we're united.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the relationships that I forged in this have become very important to me. And one day, the day will come, something will come up, and it's happened with me and Fearless before. Something will come up, and you'll inbox me because we know each other. You'll inbox, hey, Manic,
Mhm.
I heard this happen. Are we good? Because we have that open dialogue, you know what I mean? And that's what
Yeah.
I want, man. I
Yeah.
want people to be able to come to me and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. Are we straight? Because, I mean, I'm a straightforward individual, and I expect that from other people, and sometimes that's too much. But,
Yeah.
man,
Definitely.
I just keep it straight up and down, never any sideways. And it's so much easier that way. God, it's so much easier.
It is way easier. It's way easier for sure. Because it's very natural for viewers to want to pit people against each other. Because we play fighting games, we're just like, bro, this is just a game. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing against nobody. I don't think I'm doper than nobody. I be trying to just do my shit and stay out the way.
Yeah. Well, man, again, I appreciate you hanging out with me all night. It's been a fire conversation. And if you come up with something that you say, you know what, this would be a good podcast, reach out to me, man. We'll do it. I'd love to have you back anytime you want to come back, my man.
Definitely will, man. I appreciate it, my dog. Be safe. Shout out to the Manic Red community. I appreciate you guys having me on. And as far as the people that's in the LSV stream, make sure y'all go over and swing by my boy Manic Red and drop that follow if you haven't already. Streams a lot of Mortal Kombat 11 content, and obviously you can see by the quality it is, he makes great content as well. So I appreciate it, my dog. But
Yes,
stay
sir.
safe, and we definitely gonna do it again sometime soon, fam.
Always, you know it, baby. And all the folks over there watching the LSV channel, I love y'all for hanging out with us in a fire conversation. And I hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, you ain't listening. That's why. I love you, man. I appreciate you, baby. I'll see you in the next one.
For sure, my dog. Have a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Man, that was a lot of fun. I had fun doing that thing. I appreciate everybody for coming and hanging out with me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got some cool stuff coming up, so don't go nowhere. Make sure you got the notifications on. We'll be back tomorrow night. Is the last opportunity to get points in the season 4 before the finale on Thursday. So don't miss it, baby. I love y'all, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. You already know it, coach. We out of there.